Oh, I just crushed out. Hey, get your leg, man. Really love it. I talk about this shit. Man, shit, how it's supposed to be, bro. Shit. All right, good morning, baby birds. How we doing? I'm here with two gentlemen, great gentlemen, citizens of the streets. Not literally, but that's my viewpoint for today. We're down here at Wing Siren Lot, 833 Southwest Adams. One of the greatest gyms in the world. If you don't know about it, come check us out. We're having a grand opening tomorrow. They're going to be personal trainers down here. They're going to have some food that you can get, pick up. So just come down here and check it out. I'm telling you right now, this is much more than a gym. The atmosphere, the mentality, the members are like family. You know, I've never seen a gym do so much, not only for their members, but the community. They started Peoria Real Steel. It's a mentorship program. Come down here and check it out. I got some free passes. I think I still got some left for you guys. Get a hold of me and get them free passes while I still got them. Today I'm going to introduce, I got Rashad Jones here with me and Marquise. Marquise is his brother. Originally, Rashad and I met, I think, a little over 2 years ago in the gym. And I'm going to let him introduce himself. Marquise can introduce himself, and then we're going to get into it.
What's up, man? My name is Rashad Jones. Here from Peoria, Illinois. And my first encounter with Vinny was I breed dogs. I breed it's a breed called American Bully. And you know, it's more of a high-end dog, you know, what it could be at least. So I went to do a breeding, and this is like pandemic. So pandemic is like,
I think just like
yeah. So I go through the breeding, and I don't remember if it was like almost got into a car accident. So my thing was, okay, I'm this young dude now. Some of the owners here, I don't know if you ever like introduced like BJ and
not yet.
Okay, so the owners here, they're like family to me. You know, I've grown to love them. They love me. You know, we're really close. So I come in the gym, and like I immediately run to them. Like, y'all wouldn't believe what just happened. So Vinny's standing there. I didn't meet him. He's standing there. No, you know, he got on regular gym clothes. We chilling. You know. So I'm telling them the story, and my whole thing was, okay, I got a background, I got a past, right? But here I am, this young black guy, you know, tattoos, you know. Just the way I look would not have been good if we would have got pulled over, or not pulled over, but if we would have, you know, they would have came out there if we would have got into an accident. And, you know, I think like $10,000-$20,000 on me. But it was for me to do a breeding. Like I said, I breed high-end dogs. This is daily activity, you know. So
by them coming out here, you mean the police?
The police, yeah, they would have came out there. I would have been like, you know, we already in an accident. You know, I didn't want to go through the drama. You know, I already have like a theme with police that does something to me when I deal with them. It don't even have to be like in trouble. It's just something with police. So I get to telling the story, and then I was like, you know, I joked about it. I was like, bro, I want to do a hit. If we would have got to an accident, I want to do a hit and run or something like that. That's how it got about. And then he was like, you know, that's when he stepped in. I still don't know he's a cop yet. I didn't know he was a cop. He was like, no, you did say you did.
I think so. Me or Jordan, somebody said it.
Yeah, maybe not. But I was already freaked out anyway, because I'm glad I didn't do nothing illegal, because I'm talking to the cop right here. Got him! Right. So, you know, me and him going back and forth now, like, for me, it's getting intense, right? So, you know, I'm telling him why I feel this way. And he's like, you know, he's telling me the legit reasons why I shouldn't feel this way. So I'm telling him, you know, I got $20,000, you know, now they gonna like ask me what I'm doing, and they probably try to take it. He's telling me, you know, if I got business card, he's giving me the layout, but I'm still like, no matter what, bro, I'm just not trying to go through that. So that was our initial, like, yeah, and I'm like, I'm not messing with it though, like, bro. He was weak in the knee. He a cop, man. He don't understand this. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, bro. And at this time, you know, I'm just getting in the game. I'm taking every dollar from, like, you know, I'm doing fitness coaching. So everything I'm making, breeding dogs. That's how I'm like getting into the bigger dogs that I'm going after to breed. So, you know, that was like all my money at the time. You know, if that would have got taken from me, you know, I stopped doing other things to do something legitly. So I ain't gonna have no choice but to go back. You know, so if they would have took that from me, so that was our initial meeting. I was not a fan of Vinny because I felt like he didn't understand. Man, no, I'm cool on that. So that was our initial, my take on me Vinny for the first time.
So how old are you, real quick?
28.
All right, so 28, and then what's your fitness apparel called?
So I have a clothing line. It's called Viral Fitness Apparel. You know, we in gym clothes every day. You know, all day. So I felt, you know, if I'm gonna wear somebody else's, why not wear mine? So I make
Little
sure.
shirts, little tight shirts.
Real tight shirt.
Y'all see me with he gonna get a racer back. We gonna put him in the racer back and show the lats. So you will see it. But yeah, Viral Fitness Apparel, man. Follow me on social media.
I'm gonna put his links in the video.
Appreciate it. So yeah, follow me. Get in touch with me if you're interested in anything.
And then this is your older brother, right?
Yes.
And then Marquise, that's how you say it, Marquise? All right. Marquise, you want to talk about yourself a little bit, about where you're from?
I'm Marquise. I'm from Peoria, Illinois. Vinny, when I first met Vinny, it was kind of a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Because my brother had already told me about it.
Yeah.
We was at his bully barbecue. And we was at the first one, side.
The second one.
No, the first one.
First one at the park.
Yep, the second one. Yeah, so we see a sheriff. Was it the sheriff?
Yes.
Yeah.
We see a sheriff come up. I'm just looking like, yeah, they go on some bullshit. Every time they see some black folks together barbecuing and with some dogs, it's gotta be some aggressive bullshit.
Gang members.
There you go. Alright, so he jump out the car. Little short, stocky motherfucker. Excuse me, but you know, little short, stocky guy. He walking up, but then I hear my brother and everybody else is there say, "Vinny, oh yeah,
cool, yeah.
super cool,
yeah.
cool." And I don't respect no police like that. Cause first off, they come off wrong. They just come off demanding, downgrading, belittling, like they speak how they want to. You can't say what you feel. But then, he the homie. Like he literally a homie. You can sit, talk, chop it up with him. I don't know about nobody else, you know what I'm saying, picking on him, but he's smooth. Real smooth.
That's the
picture.
Yeah, when I show people a picture.
I shared that picture.
Yeah, when I
shared that picture.
For those of y'all, I'll try to put it in the link.
It was
somebody snapped a picture of Rashad and us laughing, and they
Posted
posted it.
viral.
Bro,
Yeah.
Bro, because when he come in, bro, like he you know what I'm saying, yeah, he doing his job, but you know what I'm saying, like, bro, he relaxed, bro, like he know who around.
I feel like he's comfortable.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of times, cops you just feel like
I said,
everybody on the side
bro. Exactly.
So, and that's kind of, you know, the purpose behind what I'm trying to do is there's a lot of, like, before you got here, Rashad and I was talking about, you know, unfortunately, when you look at prisons for the most part, when you look at prisons, they tend to be in like rural areas.
Yeah.
Because one, it's hard to build a prison facility in an already, you know, populated area. And two, most people, they don't want a prison right next to their house. So they end up, historically, they put them in like rural areas. And so you got to think, like, most of the people, so when I worked in two prisons, one in Missouri and one in Illinois. And when you look at where those prisons were, you look at the people who are working there, they tend to be from that area.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you grow up in a isolated area and you're going to work and all you see is somebody who's locked up, they got a lot of anger inside of them, a lot of hate, and you know, unfortunately, you know, a higher majority of the inmates in every facility tend to be African American, tend to be black men. And so if I only know Rashad, he's aggressive, he's hateful, he, you know, is wilding out, he's violent.
Associate
all black people with Rashad. Yeah. And the same, like I told him, the same as if he grew up in, you know, the south side of Chicago, got locked up, gets sent down to Menard in Illinois, and is around nothing but, white COs for the most part.
Yeah.
And, he deals with a handful of aggressive ass COs. He's gonna tend to think that, man, most of these white folks are just like them.
Facts.
So that's kind of why I'm doing this, is to get those ideas out there. Like you said, you both mentioned that you don't really fuck with the police, and that's kind of what I want to touch on. Why did you feel like? Why was there that initial shock when you found out I was the police for the first time?
Because, I feel like just from experiences you see, you just see what cops interacting with civilians, black civilians. It's like, you almost traumatized. You ain't do nothing to me. And when they just told me, like, honestly, when I found out he was a cop, and like, we get to working out, I would be there and I'm like, I'm gonna kill y'all, man. Y'all let me sit here, like, y'all tap me, stop me from telling the story, nothing. Y'all just let me talk. So, it's like, it's like, it's traumatizing, just from like, it's not, growing up, this is like, before I ever really had a real encounter with a cop. You watch the movie, you listen to what people tell you, you listen, right? All this stuff you just see. It's like, okay, I never want to be another one of them. So I'm already like on edge, right? I'm always been. I don't have to go through it to learn from it. I ain't got to touch the fire to know it's hot.
Yeah.
So I that's just how I always view cops. And then when I had my first initial interaction with him, and it wasn't even like nothing crazy. I was a kid, and like me and my little brother got into a fight, and I think like the neighbors called the police.
Yeah.
And he was so, and I never ever in my life been in trouble. He wasn't even tripping. Like once he got me in the car, and I guess he just seen I was a cool kid, my brother was fighting.
Yeah.
It was like this, he's like, I think my grandma stayed around the corner. He took me to my grandma's house, literally.
So was that around here?
It was an event. High.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but that stuck with me. Like he was just really aggressive. So I'm like I said, maybe that's like protocol, and I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
But I was like, but I'm hot. I'm hot as it. I'm a little kid. I'm maybe like maybe like 15, 16, 14, 15. But I'm a cool kid. You're that age now, and you think, oh, they hustling guns. That wasn't me at that age, So I was a cool kid. Me and my brother fighting. That happens in the house. So them type of situations, just like And then I got in some trouble as an adult, and just like I say, that whole process, man, it just traumatized me. And I feel like forever, like, as cool as me and you are, I know if I ever needed advice, if I need to talk, I can call, I don't feel like one is enough.
Yeah.
Like, as crazy as that sounds, I don't think like one good cop gonna change that in my mind of like, oh, it's cool cops.
No.
So, and I think
eventually, yeah.
I think that's great because, there's a ton of people, like I just heard there's a local officer around here that's thinking about moving. When I first heard it, I was like, man, that's messed up, because I know that they have reached out to do a lot of the community. They want to be a part of a lot of community events. So in my mind, the first thing I thought of was, damn, there's another, there's another one that really wants to be involved in the community that's leaving.
Yeah.
What do you think your initial reaction, or your initial, your first encounter that made you, what made you to look at police like, man, I don't really want to fuck with them?
They always came on wrong.
And you're how old, my bad? Not your, how old?
34.
Okay, so you and I are similar, and you're just a little younger. Yeah. So all of your reactions, you just feel like they're just not treating you like a person.
No, they come off wrong. They literally come off wrong no matter what the situation is. Like I said, I've been getting in trouble since I was 12, and it's consistent. But I was a kid, hard-headed.
You're a human.
You know what I'm saying? As facts, but I'm steady going through my things, and I'm steady getting in trouble. But I'm talking about, like, from the first time they talk to your ass like a dog. I'm talking about be little as a kid. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I'm talking about manhandle. They do what they want to because they the biggest gang.
Yeah.
That's they the biggest gang. I don't care how it's put, like, bro, they the biggest gang. They can kill when they want, they can do whatever when they want, bro. Like, they dictate their own pace. You know, everything they do, what they want when they want to. It ain't never been none less.
So, and I think it's great where you both depicted progression in one way, shape, or form. So, like, and again, I'm not here to make excuses or nothing like that, and I can only speak for myself and what I've heard others talk about.
Right.
But, like, I will say, so when I started working at the prison, when I worked at the prison in Missouri, I consider the prison in Missouri a penitentiary. And everybody's like, oh, what's the difference? And that was like, COs and inmates fighting. Like, I was at the prison in Missouri for not very long at all. 3 people got killed at my facility while I was there. When I say killed, like, I remember coming in, so I worked segregation. They had 2 segregation houses. One was like, you had to have 3 COs move one inmate per cell. I mean, it was like Silence of the Lambs type shit.
Yeah.
And then they had administrative segregation, which was like a full housing unit of, like, maybe you caught a ticket, or maybe you was transitioning from regular seg down to ad seg. And so I remember I came in one night and they were like, yo, we need you to go down to this housing unit and stand by the door. And I was like, the fuck? So I'm standing there and I'm looking inside and it looked like a scene from Freddy Krueger. The inmate, like, so in Missouri they didn't have flat screens yet. This was like 2010. They still had like the bubble TVs, and he had just beat his cellie with the TV. So we had to stand there and hold the little cell until investigators would come. So then there was another one where this white dude showed up to camp, and it was like a gang thing. Like, I don't know if it was an initiation, he had to prove himself, but he took this dude and they had removed one of the tables. And so the bolts were still sticking out. He started whooping this dude's ass and just started slamming his head on the bolts. And there was another one. But that was the first time. And then that was also the first time I was working yard on day shift. And I seen this white kid come out. And he was like a ghost. And he was just like walking everywhere with this big ass dude. And I was like, man, what the fuck? And they're like, yeah, he's selling.
That sounds weird.
I was like, he was selling.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, so you hear all this shit on TV. You see all this shit.
Different.
And then when I seen it, and so the inmates, like, you really, you could, I'm not saying that, I didn't ever see it, but you could fight the inmates. Like, if you had something to settle, you would settle. Inmates would fight. Like, it was, when I came to Illinois, it was like, oh, this is daycare.
Yeah.
Like, this shit, they got free movies on Netflix, on TV, they're going to the store every week. Like, you can't yell at them.
Incarcerated?
Yeah.
Some places.
Bro, in Illinois.
Where the hell they got Netflix at?
In all of Illinois now. Like, you can do so much shit there.
I think somebody, a friend of mine just said they was like they get like iPads. And they be texting all day, like regular texting. Like,
see, last time I was going, I think it was like, what, bro? 2015? That was the last time I was going.
Yeah.
But the thing, though, with that being said, as far as incarcerated, like, bro, like, there's so much shit that they can do. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know you being punished or whatever, Department of Corrections, and that's another story. Because that's not true.
Some money making.
Yeah, that's not true, because when you get out, it's worse than before you went in. But it's so many things, like I said, even though you're being punished, it's so many things that they can do to prevent a lot of stuff that's going on in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, as far as the TV situation, dude getting beat with the TV, I bet you he was complaining in some way.
Yeah. So, and that's the issue. So, like, unfortunately, you get a lot of people that cry wolf. They want to make up stories all the time for whatever reason, and then sometimes it bites them in the ass. But as far as aggression, like, so when I started working at the prison, like, when you walk in, you can just feel the oppression, the hate. And, like, I was a cool ass CO. And I don't say that to brag, but my job was easy. Yeah. And I took a huge pay cut to leave there because I could see myself deteriorate. Yeah. And I wanted to be the real police. Like, I wanted to be a cop. Yeah. So as far as, like, on the streets, my biggest example that I always give is if you treat somebody like an animal, they're going to start to act like an animal. Yeah. Most of the time, unfortunately, because there's that communication issue, when the police show up, I don't say most of the time, but in a lot of instances, when the police show up, they're met with aggression right off the bat. I don't know how many calls I've been on, and I've observed other officers be on, where they show up and go, okay, Marquise, what happened? And your initial response is, well, it don't fucking matter, you guys took forever to get here anyway, you're gonna do shit anyway, so now why do I wanna help you?
Because 9 out of 10, I'm coming off like that because I know how it's already finna go. You're gonna sit there, you're gonna ask my name, this, that. The whole thing gonna turn around on me somewhat.
But, so I guess my question is though, is like, why does that make it okay for you to come off aggressive, but then I'm supposed to be like, oh, I'm so sorry, sir.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts, and I understand you on that, but I understand your perspective to it.
That's a creative scenario, but like
That's what I was gonna say, because from my perspective, I would never call because I already know how I'm gonna
my
come
thing is like, you know, I don't hate cops. I don't. You know what I'm saying? We've heard stories of like, you know, a bystander kill a cop, you know, some people applaud it. It don't make me feel good, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't hate a cop. My thing is I'm just uncomfortable. So I'm gonna stay over here. If I don't have to call them, it won't be. Because I can call them in my favor. I just, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's just something about a cop
But
that
when you
just.
call them in your favor, they're gonna sit there, they're gonna look up some shit, and then they're gonna sit there, and something gonna turn around on you to a certain extent, and then they're gonna tend to that case.
Yeah, see?
It's always tending to you before they tend to the case.
Yeah.
That's what I'm sitting there saying. And
Yeah.
that shit puts me in a, hey man, what the fuck
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, type situation. You know, you supposed to be doing this. That's why I would never call, because there's no reason. Like, you gonna investigate me other than the source of what's going on.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's probably a big misconception on your part. And again, I can't speak for a lot of other officers, other departments, but from my personal experience from where I currently work, I would say that if you're encountering an aggressive officer, it's most likely because of the way that initial first encounter went. I will say for a local department around here, they're met with a lot of aggression. And when you're constantly belittled, I gave you guys an example the other day, you know, if you're every day somebody greets you, or you greet somebody that comes up to you every day and they're always like, fuck you, pretty soon you quit greeting them. And then pretty soon you're like, your first response is, what the fuck you want?
Yeah.
You know, and so unfortunately that's a personal issue with everybody across the board, community and police. We gotta learn how to recognize our own feelings and go, okay, you know, this is just another human that I need to interact with. I don't know them. And a lot of times if we do know them, it's like, okay, I've dealt with Marquise 6 fucking times now. God, man, I'm going to his fucking crib. And you get out of the car and you're like, what the fuck you do now? But that's because we know each other.
Right.
And we may not like each other, but because I've dealt with you on so many bad
That's
encounters.
different though. That's different. Now that's different. I see what you're saying on that bed. Like,
But they, you know, initially, and that's where, like I said, and unfortunately because I used to do it all the time, I got in trouble so much for being aggressive, where I would show up and like I said, you slide it under the rug at first, like yo, Marquise, just sit down. You're like, I don't want to sit down. You're like, sit the fuck down.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh shit, but I don't say anything else.
Right.
And I'm like, yo, you need to sit the fuck down. Then nobody talks to me about the way I spoke with you. You don't really call and complain on me. So it's never really addressed. So then the next time I get a little more comfortable. The next time I get a little more comfortable. So it's almost like you build that comfortability of being aggressive. And then on top of that, so the same thing where like the citizens are watching social media and regular media and seeing everything. So we'll just classify you guys as the community. So you guys in general are watching the media and you see this bad encounter of this officer with this individual or this group of people. And you're focusing on the law enforcement side. Like, man, look at that bitch. Or we're looking at it like, hypothetically, we're looking at the other people or that individual and we're dissecting everything they've done wrong. So in our mind, we're like, yeah, the officer came off hostile, but we can identify why he did that or she did that. Where you guys are just like, you see an aggressive individual. So, I'm not making excuses, but we also have like a protocol. Like we're taught, you're going to control that situation. You're going to control the conversation. And we are allowed to use one level of force above what's being used on us. So theoretically, if you're yelling, I should be yelling louder. But that doesn't work, you know, and I don't know how many times, like, you're screaming, and I'm screaming so loud my throat hurts. So what I started doing is when you're screaming, I'm like, and you're like, fuck. You can't even hear because I'm not making noises. I'm just mouthing the words.
Yeah.
And then hopefully that'll get you to bring it down. I just took a class and it was about aggressive, you know, trying to deal with aggressive and mentally ill people. And there was a lot of things I learned, like, I'd never been told. I've been in law enforcement in some way, shape, or form since 2003. And I have never, that I can remember, never been told that you cannot reason with an angry or violent person. You gotta calm them down. And it took for this dude to tell me that, like, if you're enraged, you know what I mean, you just are, I can see the flames coming out of your ears. I can't talk to you. I can't be like, oh, please calm down. I have to isolate you from the situation. So for people who knew that before I just realized it, let's say I show up and you're just wilding out. You're, fuck this, fuck him, I want to know my shit. I can't talk to you. If I try, I'm like, oh, just calm down. Yeah. Fuck you, get the fuck. I may detain you and put you in the back of my car and leave you the fuck alone. And initially you're like, man, fuck this, but then he's wilding out because I just put you in the back of the car. Right. But instead of me going, Rashad, you are not under arrest, but you are just too damn aggressive right now. Just to get you away from this situation, I'm putting you in my car. Mark, he ain't under arrest. Yeah. I need to talk to him, but he's got to calm down first. That's what we're not doing, is we're not communicating what we're doing. Right. And on the community side, you're not listening or you're not understanding when we do communicate because you're so enraged of whatever's going on. Right. So we have a policy, you know, we have policies and procedures on how we're supposed to act. Like there was an incident where, you know, like a felony stop. So a felony stop is when you get pulled over, you two are in a car, and they're behind you, they're not approaching you, they got their guns out, and they're telling you what to do. Mm-hmm. There's a protocol for how that's supposed to go down. You're supposed to get out of the car, you're supposed to be told to do certain things. You're eventually, in that scenario, most likely you're eventually going to be on your face on the ground. Yeah. Get put in handcuffs. Right. So if an officer doesn't do that and doesn't follow those procedures, they put other people's lives at risk because in your mind, you're like, I'm not trying to get beat up like Rodney King. I'm not trying to go back to jail. I'm not going to prison. In your mind, you already know you got 3 warrants, 2 of them are no bond, 1 of them's for murder, and you ain't going back. So you're going to do whatever. But in my mind,
2023.
Yeah. But in my mind, I'm looking at it like, I stopped you because you're in a stolen car. And my policy tells me because he's in a stolen car and it's occupied, I have to pull you out. I don't even know who you are. Right. You know what I mean? So in your mind, you're thinking, oh shit, I have to kill a motherfucker to get away. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, this is just a young kid. He looks innocent. I'm not going to treat him like a normal adult. I'm just going to treat him like a kid. Next thing you know, somebody's killed or shot or hurt because I didn't follow my procedures and you wild out and got away. But let's say you cooperated and I followed procedures, then Marquise is over here on the sidelines going, why are you putting this innocent black man on the ground? Right. So it's, and when you come walking up, if we're in a situation and you come walking up, I don't give a fuck if this is your brother or not. Right. You are not in the situation. Right. So when you start going, that's my family, that's my brother, you need to tell me what's going on. No,
that shit over dramatic. Right. That's more.
And that creates more issues because now if my attention's on Rashad like this, and I get this over here, somebody else has to draw attention away, and now a scene gets created. Now it's hostility. So then, like you said a minute ago, we're the biggest gang. So I'm going to call my people, just like if you're at the house. Somebody, I'm calling my people, and we're coming in deep. And at the end of the day, we're going to win. Yeah. So, but the problem is there's not a lot of communication, and I'm not putting it all on police. I'm not putting it all on community. But in between, there needs to be that communication of like, listen, there needs to be that understanding. These people have a job to do. If you're working at, you know, you're working at a job, and I show up and start telling you how to do your job, you're like, man, you get the fuck out of here. Right. So it's not okay, especially somebody who hasn't been to a police academy and work as a police officer, they have no idea what we're supposed to be doing.
Right.
I'm gonna be honest with you, we got a lot of new, I'm still brand new, like I'm still learning every day. And in our mind, so when you see an officer, and this isn't all the time, but if you see an officer, you can very well be looking at somebody who's going, oh shit, what am I supposed to be doing? I got all these people watching, I'm scared as fuck, because this is the first time I've dealt with this situation. I don't wanna look stupid in front of my peers, I don't wanna look stupid in front of these people, so they're stressed the fuck out. On top of that, they just, found out that their significant other is pregnant, and they're about to have a kid, and, they're getting kicked out of their house, like, we're human, so we got the same issues as everybody else.
Right.
But we're expected to just be like, shut that switch off. It's hard, to shut it off if you.
I understand what you're saying, and vice versa though. Like, we could have just been getting kicked, we could just be getting ready to get kicked out the house, or she pregnant, or whatever the case may be, and then something that happened too loud, naming the call. So now here y'all come responding, and then we hostile, y'all come, and it's a fucked up interaction right there.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's fucked up on both parts. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it'd be crazy to sit there and say to catch an understanding, because that's me catching an understanding with you, not them.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I don't want to fucking understand them, because I guarantee you, if they try to understand me, they try to find something.
My thing is, I don't feel like that's even like an excuse. That's my opinion. If I'm having a bad day, if something happened at home, you gotta figure out how to get at home. When you okay, now you go to work.
Yeah.
Now my life is in your hands now. You stop me for whatever it is. It could be, I feel I did stop or something small.
Yeah.
But you already had a bad day. Maybe I feel like I did stop. So even when you stop me, now I'm already hot, because even if I was wrong, I didn't feel like I did it wrong.
Yeah.
So you got these problems at home. The traffic stop wasn't even that big of a deal, but I was wrong. You felt like I was, I felt like I wasn't. So now we just clashing over, just things like that. So, and I'm gonna get straight to it. I think that's also too, like when we be talking, and I feel like about the badge.
Yeah.
I mean, not the badge, but the cam.
Yeah.
And we had got to like I feel like it would have us at ease so much. Cops do a lot of bad. They do a lot of bad. Just with the body cam, but I'm saying like they do a lot of bad in general, right? But you also got cops that's what they want to do their whole life. They actually like care about people's safety. They wanna, they get a rush out of, saving the day. That's the coolest thing to me.
And the thing,
You know what I'm saying?
like you said, you got those, but at the same time,
It's not even, I ain't talking about the bad ones, but this is what make all cops bad to us.
Right.
Because it's like, okay, you have to kill a young black man, right? But it was a stick up or something.
Right.
We don't know that. All we saw in this camera was
The part that they
he
showed.
put his hands up, you shot him. That's it. Now you on like, I don't know how it go, you on like a leave or you get persecution. Yeah, but you've been paid to stay at home now.
Yeah.
Bro, that I tell people all the time, that is a scary, like I say, it's millions, social media get it before the news get it.
Yeah, sure.
So now it's like, all we see is this little 18, 19-year-old get multiple shots. And he could have been wrong. And then we was talking about how you were like, some things can't be put out, during
And that's
investigation.
fucked up on behalf of them.
I feel like that's
Not
them. Because y'all letting us,
defend
y'all,
themselves.
y'all
Yeah.
creating the monster of like,
Them facts.
So, and a lot of that, and again, I don't know this to be the truth.
Uh-huh.
We can't, it's so hard to, to get things off of the internet, so like social media, stuff like that. It's hard. So if you're a bystander and you're video recording the incident and you chop it up and you post what is beneficial to you
right.
on social media, like we can control, from my understanding, law enforcement, the government, they can control like what the news puts out. I think. But social media, we can't really be like, oh, wait, Facebook, take this down. So just the problem is, like, if we get that out there and there's going to be an investigation done, and that's already out there, it creates bias. It may create controversy as, oh, this was edited, stuff like that. So when our body cameras, when you go to look at it, like you can you can pull up and see, like, even if it's just a normal interaction, I turn on my body camera to approach you and say, hey, is your car okay? You on the side of the road? Yeah, just flat tire. Okay, I'm leaving now, and I leave. When I upload that video, you can tell exactly how many times it's been watched. So if I get into a shooting situation and I'm gonna be investigated, I'm not allowed to watch that video. The law says I cannot review that video to write my report.
Okay.
Okay, so when it goes to court, the other attorneys can see, like, okay, how many times. So, like, the first thing you want to do is like, oh, the whole department, oh my God, I want to see this video. You can see how many times they viewed that video.
Yeah.
So the video is preserved to be the most purest form. So that way you can't argue like, oh, it's been manipulated, it's been whatever. So like chain of custody. And again, I don't know that to be facts, but that's what I believe happens.
Mm.
So, and the other thing is, like, unfortunately, after the incident is investigated and it comes out, so when this incident takes place, it's the first story on all news, every time they air, it's on the front page of everything, it's big, police shoot unarmed black man all over social media. But then when it comes out that he pulled the gun and there's 3 different officers' videos showing of him going like this with the gun.
But that's if it comes out. A lot of time it doesn't happen.
Right, it'll never get put out.
And like I said, when we spoke about it, you were saying like, it's way more like logistics to it, like, being the situation. But I feel like once that's handled, once it's all said and done, that footage should be shown.
And I don't disagree with that, but I would imagine.
Because I think, what is it for then? Who does it? It helps them. We never, all we saw the whole time for years is that little boy getting killed.
Yeah.
That's it.
If I had to guess, again, I don't know this to be fact, but if I had to guess, it would be a couple of things. Like, one, if they, this incident passed 2 years ago, and now you're bringing it back up just to show, oh, this white officer didn't do anything wrong. It's gonna stir controversy because for 2 years, the community has been like, oh, that officer's wrong. So now it just brings his name or her name back up, and they're still working. So now I go pull you over, and the first thing you say, oh, you're the one that killed that little black kid. So right off the bat,
that's the thing, though. We're not gonna forget anyway.
But exactly, and then
it's there. It's not gonna.
And then
all it's gonna do is leave us at ease of some sort, because like I say, it's like that person could have been totally in the wrong. He could have been trying to kill another person. You know what I'm saying? And that's your job. But if all we saw is that's all we ever saw. It's just, no matter if the case was quick, however the time span, that's all we saw. I feel like, what if the body cam before? And it's like.
So when it first came out, everybody wanted body cameras, and I was part of it. So around here, a handful of agencies got together in a grant that was funded by the federal government for body cameras, and I was one of the first people back in, it's like 17 or 18, something like that, as like a test, to test it out. And everybody, we used to have to do this spiel, like, this phrase when we walked up, I'm Officer so-and-so, and just so you're aware, this interaction is being audibly and visually recorded.
I remember that. Okay.
And, a lot of times, so when it first came out.
Not to cut you off, I got it. So, like right now, do you automatically have to have that on when you stop?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the law says that if you are representing, and this isn't word for word, and I can kind of be off, but something along the lines of if you're representing a department, if you are identifying a department, so you got a badge on, you have a patch, you are representing yourself as a law enforcement officer with some specific department, you're required to wear a body camera.
Okay.
Any interaction you have with the public, there's a few instances I think where it allows for it to be shut off, but it's very vague. Right. So pretty much, if you're speaking with an officer, just assume their camera's on, unless they tell you otherwise.
Any light on?
Yeah, so there's different styles. I think I see one local department. So this grant is getting ready to run out, and I think we're getting ready. I don't know if they're in the process of getting new ones from whatever, but so like the ones that are currently being worn around here, for the most part, they'll have like a green blinking light on it that you can tell it's recording. When it's not recording, it's red. There's a switch on the front. When it's down, you can it's down, it's open.
Somehow you should know.
Yeah, but just assume, it's safe to assume that It's always on.
Right.
And just so, like, to touch back on the aggression and feelings, in our mind, in officers' minds, for the most part, like, we have so many things that we're supposed to follow. So, like, I can promise you, for the most part, if that body camera's not on, so part of the law is that administration, or somebody appointed by administration, has to review random body camera footages every so often. So, and they do an audit. I forget how often it is, but like state police or somebody has an audit that you have to send down to them every so long, showing like what you reviewed, how it's random, stuff like that. So they're constantly being reviewed. And I will tell you, so like your initial thought, or one of you guys was like, you know, when that first came out, you know, everybody thought it was going to be better. You know, people, for the most part, citizens take body cameras now because it does not benefit them, and it's showing a lot of positivity. So, like on my aspect, I get complained on a lot. I used to be super aggressive, and so if I didn't have that body camera, my history of being aggressive, you'd automatically be like, I'm not believing you because you constantly get in trouble with people. So I've had people where the body camera has helped me because I'm like, people call it there, oh, he cussed me out, he's screaming and hollering at me, and I'm sitting there going, why are you yelling at me? Right. But if I hadn't had that video to show otherwise, you know, so most officers, I don't know one officer, you know, and there's a lot of crazy mentality people out there. I don't know any person, and I know a lot of cops across the nation, I don't know any person, and again, this isn't for everyone, but I don't know any person that comes to work like that. I'm gonna kill somebody.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
There are so many cops
that also people that like, you know, they're pride in their home. Not like that's that.
Yeah, oh, no, I get it. Yeah.
So they come home, they come to work, you know. Bob is always smiling, he ain't smiling today. But it's early in the morning, you ain't worried about Bob.
Yeah.
So Bob went out, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I was gonna say be extensive or say killing somebody, but that's not really extensive. But just the little kid, and this is not even, I mean, I'm like this towards cop in general. This is white, black, whatever race it is, you know what I'm saying? You slam the white man on his face, the white guy on his face. Right. I still feel like that's messed up, you know, it's just, you know, civilian as a whole, you know. Yeah. So that's why, like, my issue has always been, like, I don't understand what is a body cam. I don't, like, that's what, I know I am mentally, because like I say, I experienced it, but it's not as been like to the worst of like the fact of why I am who I am. That's just also a taste of okay, this shit's really like that. But it's, you see this stuff I mean, what do we need news for? Social media is the news. Man. Now granted it can be, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, if your body cam is to show, and this is the real thing, this is really what it is, we never see that. But now this man is getting death threats, you know, he's, you know, oh, he's scared now, so now he's not a cop no more, he moves. But he can't even be a regular person no more, he can't. Man, it's people like that, so.
If the police can sit there and put a case on you and send you up the river for some shit that you had nothing to do without being proven, ain't no fucking way they can't come from up under a fucking camera just because it's being recorded.
I'm just saying, though. No. Just for our own sake.
No, I'm agreeing with what you said. Like, the camera shit, well, I'm pretty sure, you know what I'm saying, they got some people who can tweak it or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying, or
tweak it, but make me feel like
it's a mandatory that they have to, so they have to cut it on themselves, or does it automatically come on?
No, so yeah, they have to cut it on, and that's, so.
And it should anyway, because I mean, if you just turn it on when you want, okay, what, all you see is us tussling, you kill me, no. So and with any technology is a work in progress. So like the current cameras around here, when you see it on an officer, it's buffering. And what that means is it's technically recording, but it's not recording. So when I go to click it on, it will record from 30 seconds previous. So like if we sit here for 30 seconds and I'm just talking and shit, and I'm like,
it'll record.
Woo, 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 and then I flip it on, that 30 seconds previous, there's no audio. It just shows video of what's going on 30 seconds prior.
So why, okay, when you see you have to pull me over for whatever that is, you gotta get out your car, whatever that is, The same way you train to how to assess a situation.
It takes
that
less
should
than
be
30 seconds
mandatory.
to get to a car.
It should be mandatory. Like I say, that I feel like, you know, a lot of people wonder why, oh, this is happening. Well, because for one, not most, a lot of people interaction with cops are not the coolest. For like I say, I get it. You gotta come in, you know, with your chest out a little bit. You gotta assess the situation. You gotta take control of it. But it's a difference between like aggression and okay, let me just make sure I'm ahead of the situation now. I got everything. So you know, that's like that has always been my focal point of things. And I know people like all this stuff going on. You worried about this this camera, but I'm like, that camera can prove so much. Like I said, even for y'all, this man, he's not a cop no more, but he can't take his kids to a park no more. None of this shit. You cannot be a dad to your kids because we ready to catch you. And we see what you shot him 40 times in the back.
So, and that's, again, like, I don't know one cop that wants to come to work and shoot somebody.
Right. But we still know multiple cops that have killed someone. So and I'm sure they didn't come to work and say they won't kill somebody either.
Right, and believe it or not, like, it will fuck you up in the head when you do that shit, because, you know, everybody's a human. Right. So, like, from the stuff that I've read and seen, and people I've talked to, like, it fucks you up.
Yeah.
It messes you up mentally. You need a lot of mental help after that to be able to understand what just happened, because you just took somebody's life. And
does that administer that? Like, does that, like, okay? Because you always hear about, and I'm gonna cut you off, about having an accident.
Yeah.
So when this stuff happened, okay, someone got killed. You know, it was a shooting between y'all two. You killed him. Do you have to go like a therapy or something?
Yeah, it's mandatory. I don't know how many sessions it is, but it's so there's mandatory. You have to speak with a psychologist or therapist, you know, for so many sessions before you can return back to work.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if you have to be cleared by them or if it's just so many sessions or how it goes, but like you start to, you know, I've never been involved in that situation, so I can't really say, but I would imagine that, you know, it's uncomfortable as fuck. Yeah. You know, so here's the thing, like you everything that you said about like, oh, you can't raise your kid and shit, that's going through their mind.
Right.
When that happens, so typically when that happens, like we don't say shit. So if I get involved in a shooting, I'm not saying shit. You my partner, you come up, all I'm gonna be, I'm really not supposed to say nothing to you. The only thing I can say is, you know, or that I might say is like, call my wife, or call, you know, call my husband, whatever. The supervisor shows up. Nobody can really ask you questions. Like they can, but you don't have to answer. And until the supervisor shows up, there's a specific phrase that they can use. It's a legal term that gets you to recognize. Okay, I can tell this person minimal facts of what just happened. Why? Because they need to relay what happened.
Yeah.
But in your mind, you're trying to process all this, so you get time to like decompress. Go, you know. When that happens, you go straight to the hospital. They're pulling your blood. They want to see what you got in your blood. You know, if you work for Menards and you kill somebody, you ain't getting a drug test. All that shit ain't coming out.
Yeah.
You know, so now in your mind, you know, maybe you take medication. Did you remind work that you took medication? So now you're like, oh my God, I never turned in this prescription. I'm gonna be fucked. You know, I just killed this person and now I'm the one that's wrong. There's a million things going through your mind. But then after that, when you come back to work, like, you know, my department, we had to, it's very rare that at the place where I work that we get involved in shootings. And man, these dudes were off for a little while and nobody even got killed.
Yeah,
you know, but in their,
you know what, not to cut you off, now let's try to switch up this view just for a split second. Just like how they feel threatened and they can shoot, get investigated and everything. What about if the civilian being threatened and shoot?
And
why do we gotta get incarcerated? Why we can't get investigated? Like why we gotta be detained when they being released to their family to get investigated? Who just gonna, like you said, people ain't just gonna wake up. A cop ain't just gonna wake up and say they're gonna kill a civilian. It ain't too many civilians that
I don't
don't
wanna wake up
know
and
this.
the consequences will be way different.
Like that's what I'm, like, it's so crucial. Like, y'all, they say Department of Corrections. There's no Department of Corrections because when you're incarcerated and you get out, it's worse than ever before. And then there's no proven guilty until proven innocent because, like, bro, y'all gotta sit in these small ass Desmos with bricks, sweating with dudes, and can't close a shower with 15 men out here fighting over TV, eating a bowl of cereal and coffee that's rougher than a rubber that's on the floor. Like, we get treated like animals, but the police get released and investigated to live their life.
And even, like I said, even with just scratching the surface with that, like, you know, it's traumatizing, man, to see that.
Man,
And
boy.
okay, so
Yeah.
I get pulled over, whatever the case may be, you aggressive. You know, we see it on video. Mind you, I'm just speaking of like what we see too. I can't tell I'm not a cop, I'm not the person that got killed, I'm not the person that went to jail. So, you know, man, this cop last time he did, and y'all go back to work.
Yeah.
So you go back to work and, you know, last video we see, you approach this car with your hand on your gun. I got my gun. It's so, and like, I'm not saying that killing you because I was scared was right, or vice versa. But what I'm saying is, why is it, even if I'm going to go to jail, why am I not evaluated mentally? Mental evaluation. That is something that's something like, I feel like need to be had.
Or just with a person's background, you might have had a case 8-9 years ago, a gun case or whatever aggravated, so it pop up approach with caution or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then they still, first and foremost, you come to my car, you take my name, you take my information, you go back to the car, and then you come back with your hand on your gun,
Aggressive.
and now you're talking to me aggressive when I was just a normal person
Before
you walked up to the car. You know what I'm saying? Like, first and foremost, if you think I'm gonna fucking let you walk to the car after I just gave you my real information, I'm gonna let your ass walk to the car and walk back up here, and then you gonna walk back up here after me and do I got some fucking guns or something? Like, bro, like, come on, like, treat me normal. Like, treat me how I want to be treated, so I can treat you like that. Like, bro, like,
I understand being a cop, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, me and Benny talk, we talk to Ben.
yeah, Benny
understand-
the coolest motherfuckers on the rampage, bro.
We get the real, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We
yeah,
understand what
yeah.
we're talking about, we get understanding.
Facts,
And that kind of
facts.
helps. But that's
They
why I
do.
tell people
They
that like,
do.
a lot of people don't have the luxury of.
But that's
saying they
individually,
get
though.
to- But I'm saying though, a lot of people don't get to experience that. So
No, they don't.
like even when he was saying like,
Right.
if you around asshole white men all day,
You right,
when you
you
go
right.
out to the world, you
You
like, man, I don't even want to kick
You
with
right,
you
though.
because the last 10 I'm about to bump into, I wanted to get down on. So that you start to
You right.
form that, you know what
No,
I'm saying,
you
that
right.
image of people.
You right.
So that's why I be like, that body cam is so crucial.
To a
Now,
certain-
like I say, you don't even have to, you don't even, what I'm, and even with saying this, or just like having these type of conversations, any type of thing to raise
These type of
awareness, like,
conversations,
you know,
yeah.
we've been talking about this, and I got up this morning, you know,
You said something to me.
I called him early, like, bro,
Yeah.
we always come together. I was
making
by myself.
I told him I was making my Mac.
And then I was like, but like, because I know what this means to me. Now I'm not gonna lie, it's not gonna make me at ease tomorrow.
Right.
What it does is, you know, I feel like
It's meaningful, bro.
it raises. If these happen more, you know, if you know, like, I don't know, and I don't feel like no cop won't see it. Like, oh, I'm not gonna be the asshole.
As far as
But maybe it was somebody that's like, you know what? Okay, like I say, I caught a case back when I was younger. You know, just being a little brother was trying to take care of the big brother. That's my situation. Nonetheless, we leave it at that. My thing is, I've never had a violent crime. I've never had, you know. So and look at me now.
did shit,
Look at
bro.
me now. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the hero where I'm at. You know. I'm the guy everybody come to.
Yeah.
I'm, you know, so I'm the guy that everybody wants to hang out with, wants to pick his brain,
Yeah.
you know, so, but I still feel his way.
So I want to touch real quick on, like you were saying, cops, when they're involved in a shooting, they get to go home, or if you're involved in a shooting, you go to jail. So there was a recent case, so 9 times, well, I don't put a number on it. I would say, if I had to guess, most of the time, when there is a shooting involving citizens, it's not self-defense. It's not, it's a proactive shooting. Somebody, this person has went out and said, I'm gonna fuck this person up. They go out and shoot him. That's most of the time. There was recently a situation where there was a shooting, so, and I didn't read the case, I don't wanna state facts, but from my understanding, you shot at this person shot at you and killed you. So this person got arrested for aggravated, so the first charge is aggravated battery, I think, with a firearm, something like that. And then if they wanna upgrade or downgrade, whatever. This person walked out of jail with a notice to appear. Charges ended up getting dropped because they determined it was self-defense. Like immediately, right? And everybody was like, "Huh? We let people out on murder with a notice to appear?" Well, it came out that it was self-defense. So they didn't hold him in jail. So once they can determine that that's the case, if that's the case, and they can say, okay, he was acting in defense of his own life, then he's released. But most of the time when there's a shooting or a killing within the community, it ain't self-defense.
I mean, but
like, so this is why this conversation we had, right? So with him just learning that, that's
I know what he's saying.
Yeah, but I'm saying though, like, well, I mean, he kind of proved it, like, okay, so it is possible that it can happen.
Right.
But
So I guess is your question is, if you just walk up and you're like, fuck you, boom, why should you have to sit in jail before court?
No, I'm saying like you said, body language is a motherfucker. People is like you said, you know what I'm saying? We were talking about it one day, you know what I'm saying? We said just because somebody sit there and say they're gonna kill you don't mean to act on it.
You're right.
But that don't be the case. Anybody like me, bro, like I know when somebody mean what they saying.
Yeah.
When you act on it, you act on it. I'm trying to beat you to the punch, and I'm not sitting there saying it like that. I'm not gonna sit there and let nobody take my life, bro.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Like that ain't how this go. Like and threats don't go well with nobody.
Right.
That's gonna go well with nobody.
So I guess in your mind, you're saying like if Rashad says, man, I'm gonna smoke you next time I see you. When you see him, you try to smoke him first. In your mind, thinking you defended yourself because you already know he's plotting against you. Is that right?
if he has, he's known for this too.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Rashad is known. This person is known for this. But like I said, we ain't got this in right. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
Got this in right.
And that's unfortunately that's where like the court comes into play.
And we always lose. Always.
And that's, I mean, I can't speak on that. The aggressive approach on the handgun. So it's intimidating, and since we've gone to a lot of departments have gone to outer vests where all their shit is on their upper body.
Yeah.
You're trained right off the bat. You don't put your hands in your pockets. Like you don't ever, because you got your hand. I can come up, wrap you up. You can't respond.
Yeah.
So it still happens.
You know.
Cops aren't supposed to have their hands in their pockets. That's how they're trained because it takes more time to react.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
and when you see that cop standing there and they're standing there like this talking to you, that is somebody who's either highly trained or brand new. I mean, because that's a defensive posture when they're standing there talking to you. They can react quickly, whatever, stop you. So the next most comfortable thing is to just, you have a place to put your hand, so you have your hand on your gun. It looks aggressive, but most of the time they're not like ready to draw. That's just a place where they can rest
But see, that's something that you just sat there and said, we didn't know that shit.
Right, and so a lot of times now, because the community has called them out about having the hands, so the next most comfortable place is to hold up here, and then this is being known as a less defensive situation on the police side.
I take that.
I just called that out, right?
I take that.
To say it. I just thought they were just like chilling. So to know, like, okay.
But I kind of figured it because, you know what I'm saying, how they be holding on to their vest. I be watching the fight. Like I said,
I watch a lot of it.
When it's all said and done, bro, even though it's them having their hand on their gun is an automatically uncomfortable motherfucking situation. That should be something
that's a fact.
That should be some shit, you know what I'm saying?
It's uncomfortable when the typical one leads with the aggression. When they already aggressive, got your hand on your gun.
But I bet my $5.
If you just walk up to me, if you walk up to my car, you're not watching through one of the mirrors. You got your hand on your gun. Well, not on your gun, you got your hand right here. You come over, hey, sir.
If they got their hand right there, they got their hand on their gun.
You know. But I'm just saying though, like, but it's different with like, okay, even if I feel some way, when you come and you, hey, sir, you feel it. Can I have your leg?
Now, how you talking to me?
It kind of puts me at ease. Okay.
To a certain
Right.
to a certain
But I'm saying, like, I mean,
I see what you're
I want to be, hey, I'm just doing what I gotta do to get home. That's
Good
my,
facts. Good facts.
you know, so alright, cool, man, you know this, can I reach over to, cause I see you got your hand right there.
Right.
And like I said, you didn't come to me aggressively or nothing, but that just makes me uncomfortable because that's your cam stuff. So, cool, alright, but I just feel like that's why a cop, when you stop somebody, first of all, you should already have me in your head how you gonna do this. I feel like, well, I do act off impulse too, because you know anything can happen. But I feel like if all I did was something minor, you should assess it as such. Like, you know, now like I'm not going against cops where it's like, oh, because you know I can maybe kill somebody. You walk up just, whoo, and I shoot you, boom, you dead.
Yeah. But the cop matches the description.
But I'm saying, I'm talking about even if you just see me.
to that shit.
But I'm saying, if you just, that'd be it.
Right.
But I'm saying, if you just see me do something illegal, it's small, okay, I didn't signal or something.
So let me get to the mentality of cops on a traffic stop or when something like that comes out. So unfortunately, and I really don't want to get any backlash for this, but I'm still going to say it because it's the truth. A majority of time when you look in high minority areas, the East Bluff, we'll speak around this community in Peoria, the East Bluff, the South End, you know, anywhere down the hill. When you hear a suspect, if you listen to the police scanner on our radios, on all these departments' radios around here, for the most part, when there is a suspect description, black male, black hoodie, jeans, unknown direction, you just describe half the population now.
Right.
So you try to get that first officer on scene. So they're talking to Marquise, what happened? Oh, he's wearing a black hoodie. He got on black hoodie, black sweats. He got, you know, I think he got some facial hair. I don't fucking know. He light skinned. To you, he's light skinned.
Yeah.
Right.
To me, light skinned is
Right.
Yeah.
So, but for you, you're like, he's light skinned. He got on some blue Jordans. So now I see a dude that looks like my skin tone.
Right.
He got on black jeans. They're not sweats. And he got on blue Air Force Ones.
Right.
But he got on Jordans.
Right.
Dude got on blue Air Force Ones. So I'm gonna stop him.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be stopped at let's say he just robbed you at gunpoint. He got a gun, took all your shit, left you like Pookie out here on the, you know.
Yeah.
So now I'm approaching this individual because you told me a light skinned, y'all New Jack City. So I got a light skinned dude who's my skin tone, and because you just happen to be darker than him, so we consider him light skinned. Light skinned dude, same description. He got on blue shoes. Now I'm approaching him aggressively because in my mind he got a gun and he just put it on somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and with that, a lot of the videos that we see are, you know, because we got cops, we sit on just go down a rabbit hole on YouTube about officer shootings, and you see them walking up and they just whooping these cops' asses and whatever. Most of the time, unfortunately, in the areas that are predominantly higher crime, the description is the same.
It always is.
And every call, everybody got a gun. Because that's the quickest way to get the cops there.
Oh,
So, I got trouble with this dude at my front door, okay?
that's an immediate threat.
Do you know this dude? Yeah, I know him. It's Rashad Jones. He got a fucking gun. Or they'll ask you, does he have a gun? Does he have any weapons? Well, I know he be carrying a gun all the time. You ain't even showed him no gun.
Yeah.
But you know the cops will get there quick. We have 6 cops here to handle your ass if he say you got a gun. So now everybody got a gun. So in our mind, every call we fucking go on, everybody's got a gun.
Yeah.
So we automatically got to meet that aggression with aggression. And all because you was full of shit and you seen him have a gun 3 years ago at a barbecue because he just bought a new gun and he got a Ford car and he's legally allowed to have a gun. But you wanted to be a bitch and call him out and get him in trouble. So then now it's like, the neighbors over here going, why all these cops out here treating him like shit? I mean, it's unfortunate, but the way things are called in, you know, are fucked up because we're only told. So like I gave you guys that example the other day of a dude who was doing his thing legit. I'm not gonna repeat the details, but he was 100% legit. 2 things were fucked up in this scenario. One, he was, you know, it happened in broad daylight. Some random person seen it and misunderstood it, called it in. 2, he didn't know his rights. If he would have known his rights right off the bat, yeah, that was me. This is where I was. I'm legally allowed to do this shit.
Yeah.
Here's what we was doing right here on the phone.
Yeah.
All all right, man. Have a good day. But instead, we sit there for 2 hours with citizens walking up, y'all fucking with the educated, innocent black man. You don't even know what's going on. But
Yeah.
he's sitting there lying to us
Yeah.
because he's scared and doesn't know his own rights. He thinks he's going to be in trouble. So it's like, if everybody, that's the other thing, it's like people, oh, I know my rights. You don't know shit. Because
Right.
if you know your rights, you shut the fuck up.
But we also too like we sometimes it's like it's just almost inevitable. Like something gonna happen. I you know, it's me, one of my good friends, my nephew, young kid. I try to shield him for everything bad. You know, he's a good kid, good work. You know, he's pretty clean. You know, my kindergarten partner. We leave the gym. We're going to Tasty Crab in Bloomington.
Yeah.
So we're going to go eat. Now, what's the thing? Like, you can just turn the
Roundabout?
roundabout.
Yeah.
So, I mean, every roundabout is 2 police cars, literally. Like, damn near from here to there.
I heard it was Rashad Jones and stuff.
That's exactly what it was. Big dog. So, they was like, dog, body hunter, they was out there. They was trying it was dog out there. So, we go eat. You know, Tasty Crab is like right there. Like, it ain't no. So, on our way back, I remind you, we all, like I said, we not scared as like, oh, we're going to jail, but you know, we just get it together. You know what I'm saying?
You turn the radio down.
Man, I'm listening
Turn that bitch off.
seatbelts on.
Turn that bitch
No,
off. Sit straight.
Turn signal into the parking spot.
The car is in cruise control on our way. Like, you know, that's so.
Shit.
A female officer gets behind us. We can see it. It's not hard. You know, she's in the truck. So when she stops us, and I swear that this is the honest to God truth. She stops us. She says, "You guys," if I'm not mistaken, she says speeding and merging or something. We can see you, man. We in one lane, never did nothing, right? So she's making these things up. She stops us. You know, where you guys going? She's not aggressive at all.
Yeah.
We're actually laughing while we're doing this because she's like, "I'm not gonna give you a ticket, but you stop this." But okay, me, you know, I haven't had a million run-ins with the cops. I don't think I done got a blessed day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we ain't doing it anyway. Like, we cool, but I'm like, okay, whatever it is, you ain't gonna be an asshole. We gonna go. So she runs my friend's thing. The car wasn't his, but the person who owns it, a cool friend of ours, we know it's cool, don't drink, don't smoke, we ain't gotta worry about nothing in the car. Female too. So she comes back, she asks my friend, could he go to the back of the car? I mean, to her car.
Yeah.
So now it's me and my nephew. So, you know, I'm like relaxed. She wasn't aggressive, nothing. She said, we're not getting a ticket, cool. So I'm sitting there, I'm just waiting down on my phone. Next thing I look up, it's like y'all strongest cop y'all got in Illinois is like standing next to me, some old guy, just aggressive. She says she smells marijuana, da-da-da.
Yeah.
And then remind you, now I'm thrown off because this woman was like, she asking us about Tasty Crab, where's Tasty Crab at? I'm so thrown off. Fuck you right here, you don't even know where Tasty Crab at. But I'm just cool, I'm just happy you ain't tripping.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, cool. So we get out of the car. They searched me, but they didn't search my nephew. Maybe they did. I don't know, but you know, they put us in the car. He's in the car, but we just on the side of the car while they searched.
So when you say they searched you, you mean like, did they just pat you down, or did they like pull out your pockets? And
No, they just pat me down.
Okay, so real quick to touch on that, like that's it. They should ask, like, and this is something that we're still learning now, like in communication. Like it should be like, hey, you got anything on you that because if I'm gonna put you in my car, I'm gonna be in close proximity to you. If I can articulate, if I can explain why I feel like you're a threat, then the law says that I can check you for weapons.
Okay.
So, and what that means is
they like I say, that wasn't even the thing. I think it was like when she said she smelled weed.
Yeah.
They like checking for weed.
But what I'm getting at is like, so that's just something that you should know. Like, and they could ask you, they could just simply say, hey, I'm just gonna make sure you don't have any weapons on you real quick, and then just touch you.
And I always feel like that be in the tone though when you talk. Like, you know, I was never scared in that situation for one. Because they didn't come aggressive. The dude did, but at this point I'm already pissed though, because I'm like, there's nothing in this car. And it's worse when you know, we don't know, me, him, or my nephew drink or smoke. The person that was with that car is a working mom, don't, nothing.
Okay.
So, and this is just what I mean by like just a simple. I know I didn't stop at the light. Why be scared? And this is what I'm getting at. So that happened. So they of course they didn't find nothing. They ripped the whole car apart. They didn't find nothing. They go under the hood. They do the whole nine. I'm talking about everything. They had the dog. They didn't bring the dog out, but they had the dog with them. So
You give them permission to search your car?
yeah, because there wasn't nothing there. But once they do that, we come the guys they get in the car, the alley guy they leave, right? This officer, like I say, man, it didn't help because it's like you found out, like the woman said, like they just see y'all go there real fast, come back real fast.
So let me try to, if I can, try to explain it if I can. So you said you were in Bloomington? Did you go somewhere north of Bloomington or outside of Bloomington, or you just went to Bloomington and you was coming back?
Yeah, I just went straight to the little restaurant and came back.
So from Peoria?
Yeah,
Okay. And then the car was registered in Peoria?
yeah.
Okay. So again, like going back to the old phrase of cat and mouse, like a lot of people will associate cat and mouse with police and criminals.
Mm-hmm.
It's our job to catch you, it's your job to get away. So you do have entities, you do have,
But to lie and say smoke,
and that's bullshit.
and that's what I be meaning by like, bro, y'all ate the monsters.
So and let me and I'll touch on the marijuana smoke in a minute. I'll write this down so I don't forget. So you have entities, and even in like small departments, you have people that come to work and their mind is like, okay, I want to get a gun off the street, I want to get somebody with a lot of drugs, I want to find a warrant, whatever. Like that's the mentality.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try to look for something that I can clean up, and clean up might be a bad word, but I want to take something negative away from the streets.
Right.
So there's a lot of interdiction. Interdiction is where you go and look for drugs and guns and stuff.
Right.
So the training that's real popular right now is to look for certain things. So let's say you're from Peoria. Let's say as you go through, you're on your way to Bloomington, and Tazewell County runs your license plate. Just happens to run it for whatever reason. You get to Bloomington and they run it. Somewhere along the lines, state police have run your license plate. So now when I run your license plate, I can see that 3 agencies have already run your license plate.
Damn.
So
But you also see none of them stop me.
it doesn't show that. It just
Well, I
shows.
shouldn't know.
That's our tech. I don't know.
I mean, if you stop me and they always say like, say you gave me a ticket.
So
That's in there that you
so-
say like it's out there.
So I'll get on that in just a second. So ideally, you're looking at like just in Illinois, because every state doesn't use the same software. Every department doesn't use the same software.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a huge disconnect, which even police agree is not healthy. But so typically, if I see you coming from Menard, Illinois, and you go all the way to Chicago and back within a day, oh yeah, I'm gonna find a reason to pull you over. Because it's like,
What is the thing?
what are you doing going back?
That's none of your business. And it's not.
And I'm not saying it's
so
right.
not cool.
And I'm not saying it's
Like I
right.
said, we had a good day. I'm at the gym, and I take my nephew and my homeboy. We go eat, and it's like, and then like, I don't know. It's just, all this stuff going on, and then we get told at the end, like she told us it wasn't like she said what they were thinking, but she's like, she told us why. But it's like you did all that, and
And a lot of that is miseducation or uneducated individuals in that scenario. So what I mean by like, oh yeah, I'm gonna stop you, that was a little aggressive. But what I mean by that is, if I'm looking for drugs and guns and stuff, most people aren't going to take a day trip to Chicago from like all the way from Southern Illinois to Chicago.
Right.
So most people who do that, unfortunately,
Some sort of-
yeah, I don't say most people. That's a good indicator that something's going on. So then you start to look at other things like, okay, who's a registered owner? What's their history look like? How are they responding? Reactions to the police.
yeah.
And so if they find to be pulled over, again, we live in an age of cameras. Almost every cop car has a camera. Some departments still don't have body cameras, but it's mandatory. They're getting them. But everything should be on camera for the most part. And so that interaction or that infraction, she pulls you over, she says something about merging. Like I told you guys the other day, the criminal code is like this, the traffic code is like this. I can, if I'm behind you long enough, I can try to find something to pull you over. Is that right? No, but it's legal, you know. And so they pull you over. Now, where you said at some point they ask you to search your car and you guys let them. In my mind, if you tell me that I can search your car and no dog, I don't have any other indication other than I just said, you mind if I search your car? And you're like, yeah, go ahead. My mind should be more relaxed now, like, all right.
Yeah.
You know, either they're super confident, they got some traps, and I'm not gonna find them, or they really don't have them. But I'm gonna go through the process. As far as the smell goes, sometimes, now I know you both said you don't partake in cannabis and stuff like that. But some people, so like people who smoke regularly, they can't, if they get in a car, they can't smell that the car smells like weed.
Well, like I say, and this is from my experience. I don't know about the, that goes back to being traumatized. And then a person like, they tell you, you get some cool guy. She wasn't comfortable doing it. Maybe the new booty, the one they just slide out there to do it, but and then it's like, okay, so she's cool all the time.
Yeah.
Y'all number one deadlifter that's at my window. He just, she said she smells marijuana, and I'm looking like, how the fuck did it go from that to this? Like, which it was, remind you, she's at the car. We are laughing at the car.
Yeah.
Like we, kicking bobos at the while she, taking down her stuff. Then he pops up. So we standing out, and it was crazy. Y'all didn't even search my homie. One of y'all put out the car first.
And that's what I was getting at is unless they have an indication. So again, a lot of departments have different policies. The policy that I'm comfortable with, if let's say, and again, even with walking a dog around the car, every department will do it differently. So there's some departments that will pull everybody out and then walk the dog around. There's some departments that will leave everybody in the car and walk the dog around. Let's say we leave everybody in the car and walk the dog around, and the dog alerts to something in the car. We pull you out, I still can't just, in my policy, I still can't just search you. All right, and so.
So what do you got to do to be able to search the person?
One, you can always ask.
Oh, you said okay.
Yeah, you can always ask, or if something is found, and you can articulate. Okay, you were sitting in the passenger seat. I found this right under the front passenger seat. If I can explain why I can search you, then that's something.
Okay.
But again, in that situation, you know what's under that front seat.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm gonna find.
Right.
So the minute you go to find it, that ain't mine. Well, who was sitting? So in that situation, I can take you to jail, and if you say it wasn't yours, I could probably take the driver to jail too. Now you both going to jail for the same charge.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, you, the driver, are responsible for everything in that car.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So as far as the tickets go, like everybody doesn't use the same ticket writing software. Some people still use paper. So some people use computers and print it out. So the ones that use the paper, like if you get stopped by some small town and they write you a paper ticket, we may not be able to identify that you've been stopped. But like for departments around here who use the same software, even if you get stopped and aren't given a ticket, we're supposed to put in all of your information, vehicle information, and roughly the reason that you were stopped, or similar to that. And what that does is I can pull you up and go, okay, Rashad was just stopped 2 days ago by this department. Looks like they gave him a warning. So then now in my mind, I'm like, yo, you was just stopped 2 days ago for speeding. Now I'm stopping you again for speeding. I might write you a ticket now. Be like, okay, you ain't learned your lesson.
Yeah.
Or I can be like, all right, you just got a ticket for speeding. Maybe I'll go up and find out why you speed.
Yeah.
Man, I just found out my grandma in the hospital. I'm trying to. Okay, listen. I know you was just stopped. You got a history of speeding. It looks bad.
Yeah.
Go to the hospital. Or maybe I'll follow you to the hospital. Shit like that. But yeah, I mean, because people use shit all.
Of course. Somebody might die.
I'll stop this lady one
like
time.
a baby.
But you know what, not to cut you off, bro. It's a lot of times that them motherfuckers make them dogs hit.
They make
So just so you guys know, like canine, the amount of paperwork it takes for a canine handler to operate that dog,
right.
and the legalities behind it. I know you don't want to hear it, but everything is on camera, and
it never comes out, so we can't.
Well,
throw that out.
but let's say the handler, like I've been on a lot of stops where local dogs, the handler's like, yeah, nothing. And like I mentioned to you guys before, it's not just what's in the car at that time. So that dog's nose is super strong.
Yeah.
So you never know who might have something or had something.
Bro, I was going through Chillicothe, excuse me. I was going through Chillicothe. I had this rental for like 2 weeks. My old lady was driving. They pulled me over, and they nothing. No, I don't smoke.
Yeah.
I don't smoke. He don't smoke, bro. Nobody give up, bro. I'm not bullshit, and I'm not a people person.
Yeah.
I'm not a fucking people person, bro. Nobody was in this fucking car. I'm telling you, Vinny. The female walked up to the car. It was the light out, a headlight out. She walked up to the car. She sitting there. She talking to my old lady about the headlight and shit. Now remind you, he's a police officer, but he just riding past. Like he looking for his own.
Yeah.
So she talking to my lady, bro, and you know I'm in the passenger. I'm thinking she doing it strictly by the books. Okay, leave me alone. Conduct that. Okay. She walked back. Bro, I swear I don't know how the fuck this police car ended up in the back of her car. But she walking up, and it's a motherfucker inside of me now.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, my lady let the woman down talk to her. The lady said some of the dumbest shit in the world. But the lady sat there and said she did not see me in the passenger. How the fuck you ain't see me in the passenger? Big black motherfucker.
Yeah.
Ain't that dog. Bro, no bullshit.
It's a human.
Bro, no, I'm talking about, but it pissed me off like you talking about you. Hey,
So remember when I talked about like, so, and again, I'm not making excuses. I don't know the mentality in that situation, but I've caught myself like I used to do training where I would set up a traffic stop, and I would go get like a fake gun, a fake rifle, and it got to the point where I would have these officers walk up to the driver like you're gonna do a traffic stop, and until I put that rifle on the driver's lap, they didn't know there was a rifle. I got all the windows down, so it's you can see in the car. It's broad daylight. Who's doing this training? It's like 4 PM, and I got the rifle right in the back seat. Then I put it like right in the center console. It wasn't until I laid it right across that they were like, "Oh, I got a gun." So you got to understand, like most cops.
Even though a gun in a human body is two different things.
Well, hold on. So I would imagine maybe that officer had tunnel vision and they were just like so focused on the driver. Because I catch myself when I'm scared or nervous about something, I start to get tunnel vision, and and I understand what you're saying. You in a little ass car, you John Coffey in the passenger seat and shit. But you know what I mean? Like maybe and I don't know where she was positioned, because like you're taught to walk up to an advantage point to where you're behind, so you as a driver got to look back. So maybe they just weren't even focused.
Then the lady could literally. I'm talking about. It ain't no fucking way. It ain't no way. She walked up, and she walked up, and dude walked up on the other side. Bro, this is a traffic stop light. But a motherfucker sit there, they walk up and automatically ask, is there any drugs or guns? What in the fuck? First and foremost, this just took a whole turn. And then to come find out, the motherfucker a K9 dude. Now, I'm just sitting there saying, but like, bro, like, I'm not finna let you walk off and walk the fuck up, back up on me, asking me is there any drugs, guns, or cops. I would have never fucking pulled over. I ain't got time for that shit.
Facts.
Like, bro, like you and so
Not so willingly neither.
like, bro, like, literally.
So again, I don't know what was going through their mindset. I will say again, and I'm not trying to make excuses, but a lot of dirt is done in rental cars now. 29, that's a huge thoroughfare. Instead of jumping on the interstate, take the back roads up to Chicago.
But it ain't everybody.
No, I know.
And that's why, like,
And that's what I'm trying to do, is to build that,
Right.
to build that education of like, okay, I need to start looking at things differently. Because,
You do look at shit differently, bro.
well, I'm saying to get everybody else, because
Oh, okay.
like as far as multiple cops, you know, a lot of people are like, man, you know what you got all these cops here for? Unfortunately, like our supervisors will tell you, they call it dogpiling. You know, I don't want you guys, all of y'all don't need to be on one stop. Like they'll tell us, because, and it's not that we're sitting there trying to look aggressive. We're bored. We ain't got shit to do. We're trying to be a part of something. We want to see, you know, oh, what's Rashad got today? Like you, officer, what's Officer Rashad got today? You know, I want to be. Or if they call and say, hey, start me another car. Meaning maybe somebody got a warrant, maybe they got probable cause to search a vehicle. So now I'm like, oh shit, what's Rashad got? I'm trying to go see what he got. And then we show, and it looks intimidating. And so it's not always that we're trying to be there intimidating. A lot of times we don't realize that we're just sitting in the back bullshit like, oh man, guess what I did at the gym today?
Yeah.
But you back there going, man, what the fuck, they wait on somebody else to come and get you? So I think that's something that we're starting to recognize, like we don't need to have 30 cops on the traffic stop.
Right.
As you run stop.
It's just intimidating for a motherfucker.
Definitely,
bro.
I think it was crazy. I think it's like 3 cars, there's 1 car and 2 other cars that pulled up.
And it's okay to, so like I said the other day, most of the time when you get pulled over, departments have a policy on how you're supposed to conduct yourself. And so when you walk up, it's not really, I don't want to say we're not supposed to, but it's not promoted to say have a good day or a good afternoon or good evening, you know, because I'm pulling you over, so it's not a good day. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's a lot of times, you know, I won't walk up and be like, oh, good afternoon, how you doing, sir?
Right.
Because I'm pulling you over. You know
I
what
always wonder why motherfuckers said that dumb ass shit.
So-
So give me a ticket out of work.
Well,
I'd rather you do that. You make me, like, my thing is just make me feel like my life ain't.
first, so when I walk up, I'm gonna say,
Let me be mad when I leave. I just want to leave.
yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm gonna walk up and I'm gonna be like, you know, I'm Officer so-and-so
Hey,
with this department. The reason I stopped you is for failing to signal within 100 feet of city limit inspector, give your driver's and insurance card. And you're going.
I mean, shit like that. I mean, but like now you giving me a slight feel of maybe I'm cool. Okay, go ahead and take yes sir. So I'm gonna keep now. This is cool though.
It's all the way you approach it.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? That's different.
If it's not an aggressive situation, why is you aggressive at a traffic stop? Oh, because what happened at home?
Man.
That shit happened at home.
Well, or maybe, and that's the other thing too, like, so the other night, that dude got shot over here on, down on the north end. You guys heard about that? So the dude got shot and killed, right? So you gotta understand, imagine the first officer on scene that night, and he's not, because the way the call came in, it's my understanding they believe the dude was still alive when the cops got there.
Yeah.
So you show up as an officer, you show up, and you dealing with this dude who's literally dying in front of you, and you're like, fuck, this traumatic. You got a crowd of people, you know, whether they're cussing at you. So I mean, we had there was a local officer who was down in the South End, and he was kind of over this person that was deceased that had just been shot, and the crowd started throwing bottles at the officer. So in your mind, right, you're dealing with that situation. And we'll use that officer situation. He's here to help this dude who's dying or dead. And now you throwing bottles at him. He gets done with that call. He ain't going to see mental health. He ain't going to talk to his supervisor. He's going to answer this call about neighbor trouble with these two. So he just got done dealing with a dead person and getting a bottle thrown at him. And now he got to come deal with you.
That's the thing too,
You
though.
can't shut that off.
That's the thing, though. I feel like that person, he should be done for the. Well, if you like something that traumatic, where like, okay, this can weigh on him for the rest of the day. You should go see somebody. And I also feel like,
Take this fucking day off.
So then you as another citizen who has nothing to do with this situation, you're calling the police and you're being told, you in your mind, you believe your situation is urgent, but you're being told, hey, we don't have any officers to come help you right now. It's going to be a couple hours because this.
But yeah, you just said the boy tail. Do y'all put up on 5D? Y'all got officers that up.
But you know what I'm saying? So like at our department, we don't have as many officers on the road as other departments do.
Right.
And these other larger departments that they have, you know, you get one like that situation the other night where that individual got killed. You know, they tied up a whole bunch of officers because you got not only do you got the scene, but you got to take officers to the hospital because you got family and other people showing up at the hospital.
Right.
So pretty much, if you're in the South End, other departments might be taking your calls.
Yeah.
You know, and so now I'm taking another department's call. I'm being taken out of my area that I work in to handle, you know, citizen issues in that area. And it's just like when there was a couple of years ago, there was a shooting where there was a shooting up, kind of not in the South End, but not out north, and the police were involved. Man, there was like all of my shift at my department. We stayed over till like 4 a.m. taking city calls because the city was all tied up.
Yeah. City calls.
So and that's the logistics of everything.
Right.
Nobody wants to be the police. Like, don't get me wrong. Around here, we make decent money. Could we make more money? Yeah, every job can make more money.
Right.
So it's not necessarily about the money. Like, there's a ton of incentives to be the police, but nobody wants to be the police because they're always being hated on. Their lives are being threatened. I mean, man, I don't know how long. And I'm an anomaly. Like, it's different. Like, initially when you said that I'm easy to talk to or something like that, that's because, like, for me, I grew up in an era of, like...
Which is very, very, very important.
Well, and I don't want to say these are my people, but I get along with everybody. Like,
No, but you just comfortable.
You understand, bro.
It don't gotta be aggressive. You put me, well, now, you know, I'm pretty, damn to be around a room full of successful white people and don't feel out of place. That's normal for me to feel that way, but you know, and that's nothing negative at all. It's just, you know, you're comfortable where you identify for something that. So I feel like that's now granted, you know, so you short, okay? I ain't got no choice but to be here tonight. But I feel like that's very important. And you sending this cop that's been peeking his whole life to the South End.
Over here, who the fuck y'all?
and it's so again to understand that though is and I listened to a podcast, listened to this interview with these cops and this dude, and they specifically touch on that out in Los Angeles. They touch on that. They're like, in your training period, you're put in one area, but you're moved around to give you that diversity. And they talked about working in Hollywood is the best place to work because you get to deal with everybody. You got super rich people, you got ghetto people, and then you got tourists from all around the country, around the world. So you get that little bit of everything. Where here,
But bro, from Pekin to Peoria, that's a big fucking.
we got one of those guys. We have a guy in my department, and you guys know him, who used to work over in a department over there. Come over here. You know, he's educated. He went to a private college. His parents are affluent. You know, they come from a little bit of money, and he's not very diverse in urban culture.
Yeah.
But yeah, y'all are cool with him.
Yeah.
Y'all know who he is.
Oh, that's my boy.
But the problem
That's
is,
our boy.
you can recognize that when you see people that, unfortunately, you get officers that will come
Is
to
he that
you.
way though because how we met him? Oh, so he's around these type of people. Yeah, we're not like, you know, it's people like, you know, he has some sort of
Yeah.
He got some sort of interaction with you.
Yeah.
Like
I just feel like that's very important. Now you ain't gotta be over there every day, but it might be a great part. They just send you over here today. You just go to observe.
Yeah.
That's
Bro,
what
just
you
get
should
to
understand.
understand
You should, like I said, at the end of the day, every day you put that badge on, bro. Everybody like your.
But let me ask you a question. 5 years ago, if you two was sitting in Buffalo Wild Wings, just sat down, and a cop walked up and was like, "Yo, can I have lunch with you?"
Fuck no.
That's not no.
But
That's not what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying,
But you can go to the spot for, and let's be honest. A lot of y'all cops love little hood spots. They go get food at.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
So
yeah, what happened to what was the spot down Western right when you took
First City?
No, right before that, they closed.
TT.
TT!
So,
Hey,
but like,
man.
you know, you love chicken. Go stop over there. Just get see what's get. You might not even be on the clock. You just went down and tried something. Like, if this is what you love to do, you got. I hope you won't become a cop because you just want to arrest people. You're a weirdo.
Specifically, you.
You get
So he learned to
if that's something you love, that's something you take serious. I breed dogs, but I'm up 5 o'clock in the morning, bro.
Yeah.
5 o'clock in the morning, whether I'm whatever I'm doing, fixing kennels, training dogs for show, I take it seriously.
But the thing though with Vinny, bro, you first and foremost, bro, you know what I'm saying, he passionate and trying to get an understanding with shit.
Yeah.
Bro, don't nobody sit here and do this shit, you know what I'm saying, that don't give a fuck about what they do.
Yeah, no.
So, and I will say, cops' views on these interviews. So, I haven't gotten a lot of feedback, but the ones that I have gotten feedback from, it's all been positive. It's from newer officers. They want this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But you gotta understand, like, I remember specifically, so I'm a social individual. I walked into this store, I was working, and I was like, how you doing? Like, I address everybody. And I remember this black lady looked at me, and she was just like, just went back. And in my mind, I wanted to be like, well, fuck you, bitch.
A bitch is a bitch,
But,
bro. I don't give a fuck.
but I thought about it, I'm like, one, that's highly unprofessional, I'm in trouble again. And two, I don't know what's going through her mind.
Yeah.
I don't know if she just got fired from her job. And it don't matter if I was you. But you know what I mean? Like, and I get it.
Everybody has
So,
bad days.
so let's say you get that one officer that's like, I'm gonna try to be sociable today. I'm gonna try, and that's their first encounter. Like, all right, fuck, I'm done. These people, you know.
But it's also
The first encounter was trying to sit down and eat?
No,
Say
like in the
hi.
store, if they say hi and they're like, man, fuck. So like, and I said in my first video, I remember driving down the hill and I was waving at people and they was like, what are you running for mayor? Like, why are you waving at these fucking people? And I'm like, cause that's what I do. And this, when I was on my own, when I was down by the Harrison, and it was a group of kids, they just put that splash pad in down there, and I'm waving at these kids, and I turned around, this little kid waved at me, and mom was like, don't fucking wave at the police. And I was like, damn! Like, I was like, oh shit. But that's, and then when I volunteered at this school for a little while, and my first day there, and she was not a minority. She jumped behind the principal and was like, is he here to hurt us? And that's when I was like, this is a little kid.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
But by the end of that year, I was going to their graduation. When these kids see me now, they're waving. But it took for me to interact with them to do that. And it took for the staff to ensure that these kids
Are safe.
that they were safe.
Yeah.
So on the community side, like somebody in the community has to go, Rashad, it's okay to talk to that person.
When you pull up to the bully barbecue, man, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
When, like, you know, when I first told
That picture is epic.
No,
That I shared that picture
I
like 3
almost
times, bro.
tagged myself.
I shared the fuck out that picture.
So, and when you see it, you still, like, that's what I'm glad.
I swear that's why when he jumped out of motherfucker said that Vinny, like, oh, okay, this is what I'm shouting and all this stuff.
It's the scary part. You got a bully barbecue, you don't have nothing, you have your dog.
He came by himself,
But I'm saying, no, you know, like, you be like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's a sick feeling.
Yeah.
That is like,
Yeah.
that is not normal, or shouldn't be normal. You should
It's
see.
not.
I started walking to the back when I was saying this shit.
When I pull up to the gym right now, and like I said, you know me, you know how I get down. I'm a businessman. I take care of my family. I'm straight. When I pull up to the gym and I see a cop car, I am ready to go home. I don't want to go work out today. I don't know who it is.
We be knowing who the fuck it is.
But
It's one of the two.
like yesterday, it was a new guy I met. Day before yesterday.
Over here?
Day before yesterday, yeah. Cool dude.
He don't drive his cop car down here though? White dude? Yeah.
Little older.
Yeah.
Little older. Yeah, so super cool dude though. But it's like, I don't think he was here, or maybe, I don't know. Or maybe,
I was here.
maybe BJ.
Hold on, did I leave?
Something, I met him something, well, he was here. But, you know, like that be important. But people aren't, they don't have the luxury of meeting. Like, and then too, you know, which I feel like a cop is a different person with a badge and without a badge. But still, I met, when I talked to Vinny, like introduction was like cop talk. But like after that, when we spoke again, it was cool. So, you know, he put me on game about credit. He put me on, so then I identify him as a person. Like, okay, even if we put that badge on, he was a jerk, I never experienced that. I know a cop that's a cool dude. You don't get those type of interactions with a lot of people, and it just be like, you know what I'm saying? Now, it's a cop that I can call about. I'm calling about, you really talk to me.
Bro.
And it's unfortunate because and this is the excuse that I make for the city, and I believe it's a valid one, but they work their asses off. People are like, oh, they make good money, but they earn every cent. Like when you see a Peoria City cop car going somewhere, they're going somewhere. They're not looking for you.
Yeah.
They're on their way to their next call. When the city comes on, like, so example, for my department shift change, once in a while you might have a call that's holding. As soon as I come on, I'm getting sent somewhere. The city, as soon as they come on, all right, I'm gonna send you to this location. All right, I'm clear from this. All right, well, I got this waiting for you.
Yeah.
Like they're going from call to call to call to call. So, and a lot of times, unfortunately, because they're just bing, 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 like you fill in orders. You're like, all right, I gotta get these orders filled. All right, orders are filled. I gotta clean these kennels. Okay, what time is it? Gotta hit the gym. All right, what time is it? I'm supposed to go over here. You got your schedule. The city is just boom, balls to the wall, going to calls. So in their mind, they show up and they're dealing with you. Unfortunately, not all the time, but unfortunately, it comes okay. Name, date of birth, phone number, what happened, who's the subject.
Yeah.
How can I resolve this situation now to go deal with this situation? There's not a lot of time to go, all right, so you said you guys got an argument. How do you know him? Oh, that's your brother's cousin or whatever?
But it's also, so now that I agree 100%, that makes 100% sense. But also too, and like, it's just, the tone of your voice, man, your body language can, it can,
The body tell everything.
man, it like I say, bro, I've never had nothing traumatizing happen to me where I'm like, oh, I wish death on everything, right?
Yeah.
But still in all, when you was my homie, like I got your number, I can text you, Vinny,
Yeah.
you know, I'm that close with you to have your number.
Yeah.
But see you walk in here with and I ain't gonna talk. You gonna say what's up, Sharp? Then that's my boy Vinny.
I be talking this
I'm back
talking shit.
But what I'm saying is, it's when I see that, it does something to me.
Oh
yeah.
Okay,
Talk
I
me
see
shit.
where you going. I see where
Oh,
you
what's up? You know, punk.
I see where you going.
Now, you know what I'm saying?
I see
So
where you
I always like, it's hard.
You be
So
like,
I think it's now is it like, okay, to save more lives, to bring more awareness, to bring more peace, do you hire more cops? Like what does it take? Whatever that is, we don't know. But it's like, I feel like something has to be done because there's no way that little kid should have felt threatened by you.
I think,
No way.
and I think again, so our society, I feel like, and I think a lot of people agree with me, is molded by media and social media, and there's not enough communication to be like, okay, so how do we get this group of people in this specific area to identify with police? How do we get police to identify with this group of people? And I think a lot of it is just each side understanding or recognizing we're two different people.
Yeah.
Or maybe we're the same, we just don't know it. So how do we build that dialogue? And I think for me, it's about explaining things. Like the other day, I was taking a call, I don't know if it was the weather or what, but I started getting a headache behind my eye, and I was like, I could tell when I was taking these notes, I was just like, I knew that I looked like I didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
So I just stopped and I was like, I don't want you to think I'm discounting what you're telling me. I got this headache forming. I don't feel good. I'm sorry it's been a long day. I just don't want you to think I'm being
Right.
And she was like, oh,
But that's cold as fuck
But
though.
this is the thing though.
But that's the community.
How she normalized you in that moment.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna say his name. But went to school with a cool dude, tattoos, always been an athlete. Man, I wouldn't say his name so bad because he got awarded for something that he done, like not Columbus, so it's pretty cool. But anyway, went to Richwoods. Now, his dad is like, even when I met him, you can tell like the dad knows he's been around urban, even though they don't live there now. I don't know where he grew up at or something, but he patrols in the TAF.
Yeah.
Kids love him.
Yeah.
He's real fit, so they crack jokes. You can't run from him.
Yeah.
You gonna run from him, now he gonna be mad at you.
Yeah.
He's young, my age. But it's like, I always say like, you gotta, and remind you, maybe by him going to the school we went to, this my homie, I can see him like, but I always say like some sort of like interaction needs to be had. Now it's not like, oh, we got a register. I've never been around black people, never been around white people.
Yeah.
But I feel like I said, at the end of the day, bro, y'all job is to secure and save lives. Like, I
Certain
like, you know what I'm
shit
saying? Like, bro, like you say, you just seen 3 killings today, or a shooting, bro. If somebody's shooting, and I am, you know, trained to shoot. It ain't like, you know, you can see who better at this.
Right.
You in the shooting. Then you get, I feel like you should even be, you was in the shooting, you shouldn't deal with no more calls. They should just put you on, man, you go do some traffic tickets or something like that tonight.
Like,
You should now, I know that, like I say, it's short staff, all that stuff, but still at the end of the day, you been in that shooting can have you on edge. So by you being scared of it late at night, you know, you kind of, you know, you just was in the shoot or you just had something going on, you shoot me, then what?
Yeah.
You can't be, I don't think you should be justified because
stay
you
home and get investigated.
because of what you just had, bro, you a god.
So like you said,
And you a human, so that's why I say like as
Facts.
much as I'm like
Yeah.
I'm on them, I still you a human like everybody else. But like I say, I feel like at the end of the day, you killed somebody because you was traumatized of something that happened a few hours ago.
And that's their fault, not the individual.
Yeah, not the individual.
and maybe that takes a part in, you know, something that happens as far as a cop. Like if they witness a shooting, they're on a traumatic scene. You know, yeah, unfortunately we just don't have the staff. Like I'm sure.
And that's what I'm saying. You know, it's way bigger. It takes time, but I feel like these type of things need to be having to be pinpointed. Because like I say, now you put the little college boy that was finna be the next star, and now like granted he's a black man, or like I say, I keep putting race because that's what I think of. But the white boy that's finna be a star.
First and foremost,
They have some Louis car.
that's how the shit.
They have, so not only like I say, that not only did you just kill this man, or you killed somebody that was like a neighborhood hero. That's worse than anybody. What?
So here's where I would think I think a lot of things get misunderstood. Is like unfortunately the way the law is written. So the police have a lot of power. They do. I'm not going to deny that. I can arrest you for damn near anything and take you to jail.
Right.
Now there's consequences to that. So on both sides. So if I pull you over and you feel that it's unjust, I'm wrong, and I take you to jail. The law says you cannot resist. You cannot go against what I know how you feel. You believe you didn't do anything wrong, but unfortunately, where we are in society with our laws and everything else, the easiest way is to be like, I highly disagree with this.
Right.
I'm going to cooperate. Attorney. I want an attorney. And you go to jail. That alleviates all the hostility. Because like I said before in one of my videos, the easiest way for me to eliminate an aggressive situation is to make sure you have no weapons, handcuff you, and put you in the back of my car. I'm safe. I don't have to worry about you being a threat now. But I can't do that on all occasions.
Right.
So in my mind, I have to be smiling, talking to you, going, okay, what's your problem? While watching your hands, watching my surroundings, watching everything else, making sure nobody else is coming up. And if somebody else comes up, now I got to deal with that and worry about them. So I'm going, oh shit, this could be a threat. Just because of the same way that the community looks at the police as a threat, police are looking at the community because of everything we see. Everywhere you go is all cops are bitches, fuck cops, fuck 12, fuck the police. I got little kids yelling fuck the police.
It's like, I swear, that's a perspective that I don't see going nowhere. Literally, as far as like universal,
and I
no
feel like,
time soon. Like individual,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, but
this was crazy though.
Yeah.
When I go back to, I ain't gonna say y'all, but
them.
Police.
they create that because why? They just seen the little superstar boy get killed. They just seen, and remind you, some of this stuff is like you was in the right 100%. And this one I understand too.
But they block you from proving yourself.
And they also, like I said, you put yourself at risk, bro. You can't go be a dad no more. Cause you gotta worry about
Motherfuckers
not
give you a family.
just a death threat. Or if your son hears somebody F you, fuck you,
Yeah.
you know, in the air. You know, you trying to raise your son to be, you know, kids, they don't forget. That's traumatizing to that child.
So, and I feel like, and I'm not saying that all cops should go out and just, you know, socialize with the community. But I feel like, you know, there are, so like me, I'm comfortable, I go out of my way to speak with people. And then, you know, it shouldn't be just the police going out of their way to speak with people. Community should do the same thing. I feel like that I'm such a sociable person that if I were to be involved in a situation, I would like to think that most of the people I know wouldn't jump to the conclusion like, oh, he's a racist cop.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I would have people that would go, wait a minute, I know him. There's got to be more to this.
That-
But see,
that
that speaks to you and won't fuck with them.
That's love for the people. That's love for what you do. You not
That's
like
him
saying
how
you-
he coming off.
So
Overall.
I feel like if this is what you do for a living, it's what you love doing. Some people do it because your dad was one. You just feel like I gotta be one because my dad was one.
Yeah, and that's all they know.
But them the ones that's like the jerk to that.
Literally.
So,
So it messes up. But remind you, that one cop that was a jerk, it was 4 boys in that car. He had jerked to 4 black men. We're gonna talk about it today. When we together. Soon leave, I'm finna go to the crib, holler at my OG, tell him how he was an asshole. If I bump into my dad, I'm gonna tell my dad, my dad been slimmed all on his head. So now, he's programmed to hate
But
cops.
you wanna know what's crazy though? Bush ain't nothing, bro. He's fast. And it's backwards as hell, but the black cops, bro, just as much as pricks as the white ones, bro.
but they get it, and I've seen it personally. One of my guys, he tends to get more shit from other black people than I get.
Now, is it because he's
But
just a cop? Is that because it?
Bro,
So,
and
but I guarantee you,
He's from the hood.
but I guarantee he don't come off like you come off though, bro. I guarantee, if you from this shit too, to a certain extent. Let me clear that up. You know what I'm saying? And then the other cop being from it, okay, that's what I'm telling you, bro. If he came off like you did, ain't no motherfucking way it'd be like that, bro. It ain't no way it'd be like that, bro.
If I had to imagine,
It ain't no
because
way.
I've had this discussion a few times. If I had to guess, I would guess that he's coming off a little more stern because
of how they approach, how they pursue.
Yeah,
Which, and that my thing is, okay, one thing about me, I can't lie to myself, I never been cool or good with that. So even if that's the case, but him as a cop, why he not doing this?
right now
Why
he's gonna be. So I will say that he is one of the most vocal people about doing community stuff. He is, he's got some personal reasons why he's not doing this. But I will say he's been the first one to be like, yeah, I'll go do this in the community.
which is dope. So he's
But who
one
know
of
you been doing that
what I'm
shit?
saying though, he's one of the guys that play the same role of you of like letting y'all know. All of us ain't like this.
Who know he been doing that shit though?
Well, I guess whoever you're around.
Yeah,
I'm saying,
but I'm saying,
I mean, but it's good cops that we don't know, so I can't say he's not one.
okay, facts. I agree, but like the thing is, like, who in the fuck know besides the police?
Well, I'm saying whoever he's like encountering that knows he's a good guy.
There can't be too many knowing that.
Well, I
Niggas
don't know
that said that
every
they
cop, though.
fucking. I know that, but I'm talking about this one in general. Whoever fucking.
But see, so again, like he's younger. I think he's more about your age. And like for me, like the specific incident I remember, we was down by Manual High School, broad daylight, and dude was jacked up. I mean, it was a good stop. There was nothing hostile about it. He could have probably, if I remember right, he could have hit him with some more stuff. His family started showing up, and inadvertently, and I just again, I talk to people how I'm comfortable with talking. So I'll talk shit, I'll joke, and I walked right up and I explained. And again, unfortunately, I can't speak for a lot of officers, but I have yet to see where somebody will go out of their way to explain what's going on.
Yeah.
And that could be an uncomfortable position on their part that they're not comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
So I walk up to this person who I think was the auntie or the mom or something, and I was like, this is where we are, this is what's gonna happen, we're gonna take the car, I'm sure this person will let you get whatever you need out of the car. And just explain.
Right.
So then another family member come up, they start talking shit, and I was like, yo, who'd you say your dad was?
Yeah.
I went to high school with his dad, and when I told them that, they were like, no, you didn't. I was like, why? Because I'm white, I can't go to high school.
Yeah.
And then mom was like, oh, and it just kind of broke, because I will call you out on your bullshit.
Yeah.
And then when you realize, when I start name dropping people that I know then it's like,
Now you pushed up on the wall. Now you don't know. Now what?
well, no, now it kind of I think that relieved
down.
the other people, and then this person was like, I think he was intimidated that I knew his father, and now it was like, oh, well, this dude's cool, but he's still a bitch, because their exact words was, look at what you're doing to your people.
Oh, okay. So now y'all want to sit there and play that.
And it was like,
And that ain't fair, you know what I'm
No,
saying? He could be a guy that he genuinely wanted to be a cop. You know, like I said, I have.
So let me tell you, this dude wanted to be a cop, and I'm gonna have him on. He's gonna explain it. He wanted to be a cop because when he was younger, he lived in a high minority crime area, and he got robbed at gunpoint as a little kid. And he said when the police showed up, they were the most, and it was all variations of skin color when the police showed up.
Yeah.
And he said they treated him so nice. They took him under his wing. That he wanted to be a police explorer. He learned. He started to be a part of the police department until he grew up to be an adult. And they love him at that department. Like even to this day, they love him. And that was his sole reasoning because he was like, they treated me so nice.
Right.
When I had a negative encounter, he was like, I had another black person rob me at gunpoint, me and my sister leaving a convenience store. And then here's this black officer, this white officer, and both of these two, which society tells me they're here to kill me, but they both really went out of their way. Even after that incident, stayed in contact with me. And he's like, that always stuck with me.
And that's like, but that's why, like I say, man, even on your worst days, try to think of like the impact you can have when, especially if somebody wrong. That's when you can tell, like, bro, it's sometimes the spanking is not what teaches the lesson. It's to telling them, you know, you can't do that. If you never tell me what I did wrong, how am I supposed to learn something? So I feel like if you having a bad day, not like I said, bro, we human. I don't expect for you to come and, you know, hold my hand. If I'm wrong, but you don't also have, you don't have to cuss and be so degrade, you know.
Yeah.
Man, look, and then too, like you been comfortable with guys that look like me. You even know like how to kick the bobos, you know how to crack a joke, you know how to, you know what I'm saying? I see the drop 50 pounds there, you get my side there, okay? So you know, 50 pounds, I don't even wear no but you know how to like assess the situation. And I feel like that is very, very important, you know. Like I say, that cop that did that to that little boy, that did that to the boys in the car, that's 4 different guys that's gonna go home and have 4 stories to tell people.
Right.
So when you see, now he's only 15, his brother 8. So when the brother said, I don't like cops, he's a good kid. He might not never ever run in with him. But just off what his brother told him, that's facts.
That's the reason that
he hate cops. So I feel like, you know, each one teach one, and like I say, and this is me.
Are you preaching today?
I have, man, come on. I don't have it in me to hate cops. I just like to stay away from them.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like it's dope when I come to the gym and I see you. And y'all are cops. That is cool to me because it starts to turn this thing in your head. Like, okay, maybe all cops not all bad.
Matter of fact, I'm going on. I hate some of them, but I just said like, I was thinking in my head. I was brainstorming.
See, hate, like if I hate you, like if you, no, okay.
No, you know what I'm talking about.
I agree. But see, matter of fact,
I talked to Vinny about it too.
Like,
Vinny know what I'm talking about.
But you hate them because of like your interaction with them. You know,
no, I hate them because I went away for
it's your interaction with them.
Yeah, and it's okay.
I'm talking about just all. You don't hate no cop because he a cop.
No, I'm talking about when I talked to y'all.
Okay,
when I was
hate him.
Yeah.
Hate him because of your interaction with him, or because he's a cop. It's because of what he done.
He hates that man as a person.
Yeah.
Because of what he's done.
Yeah, and that's what I'm getting at. So like, and that's I think so.
Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
On the reverse rules of things, those 4 kids in the car, like I've explained to you guys about how I would act on a traffic stop. You know, I'm the police. I have a badge. I have a police ID. I've got a gun on me, and I still get scared when the police get behind me. Just because like my heart rate starts going, I get nervous. What did I do?
Yeah.
You know, I can't get it. And I'm also thinking like, man, if I get a ticket, I'm gonna be in trouble at work. Like,
yeah.
You know,
If you get a ticket, you'll be in trouble at work.
yeah, because how am I supposed to write you a ticket if I'm out here doing
Right.
So, you know, there's certain ways, and I preach to my son all the time. Like, I'm not going to get you out of trouble. So, when you get pulled over, this is how you should act and respond.
Right.
And so, in that situation, like, I think it's healthy if people in the community, so now that, like, you guys know, you know, you spread the word. When you get pulled over, act a certain way. Roll the windows down. Have your license and insurance already ready. If the insurance is on your phone, I tell people all the time, take a picture of your insurance. That way, you just go to your photos, pull it up, boom, sit there. I'm Officer so-and-so. This is the reason I stopped you. Here's my license and insurance. You eliminate all that time. So most of the times I'm sitting there and I'm like, you have your license and insurance? Most of the time, people don't have their license on them. It's still valid, but I gotta take time to write it down.
Yeah.
That's longer time for me to sit there at your window. Now I'm waiting for you to find insurance. So while you're looking for insurance, I'm looking around. Oh,
Yeah.
On the real, yeah.
you know, so now in my mind, I'm like, all right, they got some dirt in me. Because you ain't cleaned out your car. So then I go back. So when you already have your documents ready, here's my documents. All right, I'll be back with you.
I'm not already saying what I need to say.
Or I can ask you and go, okay, where are you coming from? Where I came from. Where are you going? Where I'm going. Am I free to leave? Boom. You know, and you don't gotta be a smart ass, but just eliminate that. If you don't feel comfortable with talking with an officer, eliminate that. There's, you know, I'm not gonna sit here and advocate for people to be passively aggressive to officers. But you don't have to be aggressive either in the fact, you know, if I come up, so just like you, if
That's
I,
understandable though. I hear what you're saying.
if I walk up to you and the first thing you go is, the fuck you stopped me for? Okay, I know how this is going.
Yeah.
You already came off. Well, I already came off wrong. Yeah.
And so a lot of times what I'll do is go, oh, bro, I'm not yelling at you. Please don't yell at me. And that's that'll be my response.
Right.
And hopefully that'll go, you're right,
Man,
here's my license. You know, or in the reverse role, don't feel like you can't say the same thing. If I come up and go, fuck was you running through that goddamn light for like an idiot?
Yeah.
But if we say that to you, bro,
I swear it's gonna be some shit behind.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, do we get said? That shit is said to us all the time, and that's where I think that aggression comes from. Because I feel like, at least in my case, like initially in my career, I felt like I had to be aggressive because that was the only way I was going to get my point across. So if I come at you like, yo, did you lose your fucking mind running through that stop sign? You didn't see the kids back there? You go, my man. No, I didn't see them. Please don't talk to me like that. I should recognize. So professional. But that's what I'm saying.
What you would think that's what, but it's like I say, I feel you should, but like I say, you see it does however it turns out for you.
Yeah.
When you come up to the car, it's a young black male, he's jittery, kind of scary. Hey, sir, like I didn't give you no type of notion that I was aggressive, nothing. I'm speaking at a low tone, then you gotta ask me to speak up. Why is you being aggressive? Like that. I feel like that type of stuff. Now, I've been in the car with people that they're sick. I mean, I've been in the car with people like, bro, now if you pull your ass out this motherfucker.
Yeah.
That shit goes on
motherfucker. So, I'm not, like I said, even with this, I'm not against cops. I even said this because I feel like, I've met guys like my friends that are cops that are good people to what I see.
Yeah.
So, but I'm like also too, like I feel like it's a thin line. It's not many of them, So I'm just like where this at. I'm like I feel like more. This definitely needs to happen more. Because it's just like I say, the stuff that be happening since like it's no way. I tell people, but that is like traumatizing, bro. If I haven't had an interaction since my situation, since I haven't had to go see a certain someone like 3 years ago, right? And my case was over, just whatever happened 2-3 years before that. Well, why do I still feel this way 6 years later?
So I would imagine because you haven't had many interactions since then, so that's all you have to go on. So, and I totally forgot what I was going to say a second ago about. So it's just like when you go to a job. When you start a new job, you're brand new. Like even if you're kind of familiar with that specific job, you still are like, I got a lot to learn. I got to learn the people, learn the supervisors, learn how they want me to do it at this job, all this shit. So a year from now, when you're still at that job, now you feel like you're running shit because you've been here for a year, you got new people coming in, you done trained and shit. When you look at officers, for the most part, the smoothest officers are the ones that's got like 20, 30 years on.
Yeah.
You're like, yo, what's up, young buck? You out here causing shit. The new ones be like, what are you doing, sir? Where you going? Where you going? And it's like, but they come out of line. But they go through training. They got that adrenaline. They're ready to go. Like even me, when I get, and I told you guys the other day, when I get if somebody else calls for a car, or I hear a good call going on, when I say good call, like there's action,
Yeah.
like I'll start going, and my adrenaline, I gotta tell myself, like, breathe, calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh shit, we about to, so, who knows, you know?
Yeah,
This motherfucker.
motherfucker.
But no, I mean, and so it takes like, dude, it takes a long time. It took a long time for me to really, and I struggle with it every day,
Yeah.
not being aggressive. It's to the point where I show up on calls, and I'll just like, almost have this like, I don't want to be here attitude, but I'm super calm, because that's me trying to maintain my calmness so I don't become aggressive.
Right.
Because I don't want to get in trouble. And I think I found recently that the calmer I am, the easier it is for me to interact with people. It puts people at ease.
Fact.
And I speak to people the way they speak to me. So like, if you're, the problem, there's so many newer officers that will, they want to relate to people they're not comfortable with. So you'll find them starting to almost emulate the way you're talking. So if you're talking in an urban tone, they'll try to talk like that. And I've had people where they're like, you know, it puts that individual at ease, that citizen at ease. And I've had times where I've seen the citizen go, what the fuck, you making fun of me? And it's like, but they're genuinely trying to relate to that person.
Yeah.
And so I tell all new officers, just be yourself. Like, and I don't mean this derogatorily, I don't mean this to offend anybody, but if you are, if you like the same sex, be open about that. That's who you are.
Yeah.
You know, people can relate to that. If you're the type of person that's never said a cuss word, and you, excuse me, sir, why are you responding this way? You sound like a damn RoboCop.
Right.
But that's who you are. I said, and people will pick up on that and they'll be respectful that that's who you are. Instead of
trying to come off.
Yeah, and so like for me, unfortunately, well, I don't want to say unfortunately, but I speak very fluidly. I have
You speak
an
openly.
urban dialect. Yeah, like
That
that's
makes sense. You ain't too.
It don't feel forced.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, it's not forced. And so it took a long time. Like I said, when I worked at the prison.
I was looking for a big word to use.
Yeah, you trying to be.
I was trying to do that. I was trying to do that. I does this expedition. Stop that.
See, you can't even spell that.
I can't either.
But no, like you know, and that's one thing. Like for me, when I worked at the prison, I still remember. So at the time, I
I
had
can spell expedition too.
I had big rims on my truck, and when I came out, we came out at the end of the night, and I remember somebody making a comment, "Oh, a visitor's car must have broke down," because you know visitors show up and in personal vehicles. They expected me to have just a regular car like all the other coworkers, but I had an Avalanche on 26-inch rims, you know, chrome rims sitting out there. And they wasn't used to seeing that.
Yeah.
So they was like, "Oh, a visitor car must have broke down, and I'm getting in this thing," because they weren't familiar with it. And so for me, I was like, I gotta fit in with these people because they're supposed to have my back when I'm working around these convicts.
Right.
And so it took me about a year for me to go. And believe it or not, two of the you look at them and be like, "Oh, that's a white racist biker, got long goatees, tattoos," but they were both in the Marine Corps. They both had world experience.
Yeah.
So for them, they were comfortable around everybody, just like me. So I realized I just got to be myself. Not only is my job easier, but by me being myself, you might not like me as a coworker, but you're like, "Damn, why is Vinny's job so easy?"
Yeah.
Because I'm being myself. Right. Meanwhile, you stress the fuck out because you're trying to relate to these people. When you can't. Yeah. So what time we got? Yeah, we about to wrap this right. So to wrap it up, both of you guys, if you had to pick one thing you think would really help interactions between police and a community, one thing we could one thing that both sides could do, what do you think that would be?
This podcast.
Yeah,
I agree.
More people come.
I agree with
You know,
that.
you got people like us we really know. You know, my brother's already been through more stuff than me, but you got me where, like I say,
If I don't know, you know.
you know what I'm saying, and I have millionaire friends, man.
And then you got you in
know,
the middle who
everyone, so like
us
this
and
is
then
really
people on the
this is
like a
really
Oreo
opportunity.
cookie right now.
Come on, man.
Keep that bro. Some are
Yeah.
that was one of the things. But you know, I
Definitely
feel like it's
Grandpa
very
B.
important though for like these to be had. Like I learned something today. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you don't think about okay, this cop just see, you know, he held someone's brains in while they, you know what I'm saying? But he had to go deal with this call. You don't think about
Just
it.
the communication of both
Yeah,
sides. Like,
yeah.
Bro, this
Yeah,
video make a lot of sense out of
Yeah,
all
a
the
lot,
shit.
yeah.
The whole time we've been talking about, I've been spacing out and just thinking about the shit we've
Yeah,
been talking
yeah,
about.
no, it's crazy.
Bro, it,
trying to figure out how to spell expeditiously.
I can spell that shit. I can
So
spell
that
that.
definitely needed, man, and I feel like, you know,
This
my
is
main
definitely
thing is the
dope
bike
podcast,
cam.
man.
I would stress that every day. But, you know, more of that stuff comes with change of like, you know, things to be aware. And I feel like more people, more cops, you know, you having the black cop, you having the cop that's like not comfortable, you know, have never been anywhere. Cause like I said, it don't even have to be negative.
bro.
It does not have to be.
Like-
It does not have to be a person that's that it's a bad situation. Like I say, I'm sure it's. I can go to a new job, bro. Everybody wears suits and ties. I've never wore a suit and tie before. I'm going to feel out of place.
Yeah.
No matter how loving the embrace is, it's still like, oh shit, you gotta sit up here like this. You gotta have. So you know, like I feel like these type of people coming on here and you being, you know, transparent with the people, the consumers. I feel like that's really going to like help. And if that can start here in Peoria, it's a start somewhere.
So in an interaction, whether it's on a traffic stop or call to your house or whatever, how would you like to see the police act differently in those situations on the initial approach?
So something as simple as a traffic stop. And I can't say treat it as such because that can go left or
Yeah,
fast.
yeah. We have a saying there's no traffic stop is routine.
Yeah. So if it's just, like I say, I failed to some minor, treat it as such. You don't have to come up being aggressive, because it could have been something I didn't even know I did, man. People, I didn't stop far enough, or I took my blinker on too late. Anything, you know. So, right, you go down by Bradley, you don't know where you can drive.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally bike lane. The bike lane is as big as the
You gotta
driveway
buy
lane.
motherfucking MacArthur.
So,
You in the bike lane thinking this
So,
shit.
you know, something
yeah.
such as like, for one thing, you know, like, okay, I wasn't aggressive. I told you, I'm probably scared, so I'll probably tell you, oh, I'm sorry, sir, I noticed late that this was a bike lane, and cool, okay, license and registration, sir, you know, yeah, drive over here. To be open and, you know, to be able to talk and converse, like you say, you don't want to be there all day, but you should let a person know what they did wrong, you know, the
Right.
tone of voice, you know, and I feel like
Right.
that's, like I say, when I met you, I'm like, man, what the
Do you have any advice for the community on how they should or they could respond in an
be
initial?
aware of what's a cop job. A lot of us don't think about that. We don't think, like I said, we don't think that just happened to you earlier. So man, look, I'm gonna come. Yes, officer, I'm sorry. Yeah, license registration. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way you do it. Like I say, I've been in a car with somebody I feel like was just doing the most.
Bro,
Now,
how
if
person
it's not-
talk, how
if
they
it's
talk to you is
But I'm
not.
just saying, like, even for us, like, you know, sometimes we pissed off because something happened. So now we got pulled over and we was wrong, or we are just a person. It could be white person, Asian, it gotta be black. I don't want to make this a black.
Right. This ain't no
That's
racial
not
thing.
I'm just saying because I'm just black. But
So let's just with that analogy, let's just go with you feel like, you know, you as a citizen, you feel like you didn't do nothing wrong. How do you think you should still react? You get pulled over.
that's the scary part.
And you
I'm
didn't
glad
do
you said
anything
that. That's a scary thing for me. I'm scared to tell you, officer, no, I did not do that. Because now it's a whole different thing now.
Okay, so in my perspective, what I would say is, and I wanted to get your opinion because I don't want it to look like I'm trying to tell the community
Yeah, no,
how to
no,
respond. But like for me, like when you saying you don't feel comfortable with me telling me that, so I would say the best way, the most fluid, non-confrontational way is, you know, I show up, I'm officer so and so with this department. The reason I stopped you is because you failed to stop the stop sign back there at Wiswall and Griswold. Man, I for real thought I stopped. Here, we need my license insurance. I most definitely thought I stopped. You say so. You know, and that you say so, that might be taken off as a smart ass.
And I was gonna say, but something like something so small as that, imagine, I'm scared of cops.
Or
So it's almost like it's whatever, and that's a horrible feeling, bro, for me to accept something that I feel like I really did not not do.
So, and to throw that out there, like I have been, again, everything's on camera. Almost all cop cars in this area have cameras.
So we know we're talking about the camera.
So listen. So I have been in court a handful of times. When I first started at this department, we had a situation where this dude was doing dirt. Ended up like a year, 2 years later, got popped. Like they ended up having to go through warrants, everything, bro. Pounds of shit. This dude was dirty. He had a bogus car. He had drugs on him. The car was bogus. It got thrown out because the infraction we stopped him for was not on camera. So those cameras work. The state's attorneys, they look at these videos, they look at the cameras, they look at all of that shit.
Yeah.
And so just know, like, you may be inconvenienced at this time. And again, I don't know how many reports I've written.
I think crazy too. That man also not just making my scenario. The same thing with that same guy sat in prison for 3 years while y'all did that case.
So
nobody, I mean, yeah, he didn't spend 40, but he spun 3. He missed 3 birthdays. He missed 3 Christmases. His brother was killed.
and I will say, and this isn't a catch-all.
No.
Accident, people make mistakes.
And that's a fact.
But in the same what was I going with the Oh, I have written a lot of reports, and I don't say a lot. I can think of some times where I've written reports where I've written a report and then I've watched a video and I'm like, damn it, that ain't even how it happened.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I swear up and down, that's how it happened.
Right.
So we got to understand that, like, our emotions take place. If I'm dealing with you at the time and something happens and I go to write my report, a lot of times I'll watch my video because I'm like, I think this is how this happened. And then I watch it and I'm like, oh shit, that didn't even, where is that coming from in my mind?
Yeah.
Like, am I making this fucking story up?
Right.
So there's times where, and again, I'm not making excuses, but maybe in your mind, you're like, yeah, I did stop. Because you're used to just cutting corners and shit,
Yeah.
you slow down, do the California roll.
Right.
In your mind, you really thought you stopped. But then when I go back and I watch the video, like, this is a stop sign, and you go,
Yeah.
and technically you didn't stop. So then you get in court, and like I had this individual, I stopped him for speeding, and typically when I stop you for speeding, I'll be like, hey, I'm Officer so-and-so. The reason I stopped you today is I got you doing 55 in a 40. Is there a reason why you're going so fast? And a lot of times, you'll turn around and be like, yo, I wasn't doing 55. I might have been doing like 50, but I wasn't doing 55. You just admitted to speeding. And now you're going to argue with me about being pulled over to a race area? Like, so instead of just going, you know what? I was speeding. You're absolutely right. I'm late for work. Whatever it is, acknowledging. And I think that's a big part of, on the police side and on the community side, is we don't acknowledge when we fuck up.
Right.
We don't say, I was wrong. Because of our ego. We're either fearful of something or our ego, we're like, nah, I didn't fuck up. You fucking with me.
Right.
Like I said a minute ago, it's cat and mouse. Is citizen's job to get away. It's our job to catch. That's how the old school used to look at it.
Yeah.
But so do you guys have anything that you wanna let somebody know or let people know before we wrap it up?
No, I think we did that for the last 2 hours.
All right, so again, Rashad Marquise. Rashad is an entrepreneur. He literally has started from nothing, and now he's doing big things. Check out Jizzy Jones Kennels. I said it right. Gizzy Jones. My bad.
Yeah,
Trying to
play it mess up all the time. That's it.
Yeah.
They be putting some
That's
wild.
the Hoochie Daddy shorts.
I'm having them in a minute, It's different, but yes, Gizzy Jones Kennels, Gizzy Jones, Jones, Kennels. That's on Instagram, and on Facebook, it's Rashad Jones. And if you want to inquire anything about a dog, I have a link on Instagram. You can look up all the studs, multiple breeds, and stuff like that. So.
And then the fitness apparel.
Yes, Viral. The Viral line is available now. Working on more colorways. We just dropped our first one that sold out pretty quick. Which is dope. Which was the black on black. I have on the tank. One of the t-shirts now. One of the hoodies now.
Right.
So just growing and learning.
All right. And again, Wings Tire Lot down here at 833 Southwest Jefferson. Come check them out. They'll have
Best gym in the world.
you heard it from his mouth. Grand opening tomorrow. Come check it out. Personal trainers, food. They got tanning. They've got Well Factory. Come check it out. A lot of things offered down here. Real Steel will be starting up pretty soon. Mentor program. I'm gonna have them on in a few videos to give you guys an idea of what they're doing and how they're benefiting the community. So
I think they're trying to do kickboxing or something like that.
yeah, we're gonna see Marquise out here and then Gucci Daddy show us
Vinny had, I mean, Wiz Khalifa had on coochie cutters.
Yeah, them draws,
Oh,
man.
Oh my god.
But nah,
Like,
definitely.
Vinny for man.
All right, I love you guys. If you guys have any comments, I'd love to hear your feedback. This video, social media, hit them up on social media, whatever you have, and let us know how we're doing. Let us know what these guys can do differently to change your mind on some things. All right, deuces.
Let me go take
I
a
said
shit.
Vinny for man too, man. So when you make man.
You charge me for that.
You about to take a